Welcome back, Wagoneers, to another exciting episode of the Wasted Wagons podcast. Today we have a little bit of a skeleton crew with us today. We have Patrick, Sean, Todd, and myself. I'm Travis. Russell called in sick today. Gave us a little, basically about 5 minutes before we arrived here, gave us the heads up that he wasn't coming because he wasn't feeling well. Has anybody heard from Mike? Anyway, we have ourselves an exciting show today. But where else can we start other than the whole country and all of us partaking in this, getting duped by the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight? Who wants to start with this? Does anybody have something they would like to start with on this?
Cha-ching. Cash, money. The content warrior and the content machine made $17.8 million at the gate for entrance to the arena to watch the fight. And I think it's unofficial, but Mike Tyson took him home around $20 million. Jake Paul around 40 or more, give or take or whatever. So, I think it was.
So they were both real winners, and we were all losers for watching, is what you're saying.
We were losers in the sense that we won't get that time back in our life, but at least we didn't have to pay for it. That's the only reason I wasn't as bothered by it. But I had an idea that it was going to be more of a spectacle than anything. You were kind of hoping that maybe one of them would knock the other one out, whichever the case, whoever you wanted to see do the knockout. But I mean, ultimately, it was kind of what I thought. Well, I kind of figured it would be just content money thing.
Well, the same thing happened when Tyson fought Lennox Lewis. Huh? Was that the 90s or 2000s? Or it was like high school?
It was in 2000s because we were at a dude Aaron's house.
Mm-hmm. We were in high school.
It was probably sophomore, junior year in high school, I've had to guess. So yeah, probably like early 2000s.
Me and Biff reminisced about that Friday, saying that our dads, we were together. It's funny how like y'all's boys, were there watching this with their dads. Pay-per-view. Well, it wasn't pay-per-view, thankfully. But I remember us like renting a cable box or somebody had one and getting the Tyson Lennox Lewis fight. And me and Biff were watching it with Bob and my dad, and it's just funny to see it all over again. And we laugh and we're like, wait, it's Tyson fighting in both of those. It's like another generation of watching Tyson over the hill fight somebody, and it went about the same way. It went to a hugging decision and nothing really happened. And,
yeah. So let me just throw out this question. Did anybody at this table realistically think Mike Tyson was going to win?
I have no idea. I felt like if he got one good punch in, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like Sean said. I thought if maybe he'd get a punch in, he could maybe startle him and hit him with a couple, like a combo. That might kind of fuck him up, but...
So my opinion on this whole thing was like I wanted Mike Tyson to win. Like Todd and I have made it known on past pods that we're not fans of the Paul brothers, and it would have been nice to see Mike Tyson connect with one of his hooks. One of those vicious hooks he used to throw in the late 90s. But when I went into this whole fight, that's why I am glad it was free, because I had the idea in mind that this was going to be a money grab. That it was a money agreement where Tyson agreed to put an L on his record to take the big payday, and to me that's what it looked like. I mean, I don't know if anybody thinks differently, but Mike Tyson only landed 5 punches throughout the whole 8 rounds.
That was it.
Yeah. So
I mean, I know. I mean,
he supposedly won the first 2 rounds, but
it appeared definitely after round 3 he looked tired. But I mean, there was really no sense of urgency in him.
He kind of stayed all tucked in. He didn't really move. It was just kind of like just stand there and take some punches for 8 rounds.
Well, Paul ends up with like 5 to 10 seconds left, takes the bow in front of him. Mike Tyson could have easily threw a hook at that point and ended that fight. And I know that would have been, because it could have technically been considered classless, but the fight was still going on. Yep. So I don't know if it was showboating or if he was really trying to be classy in that sense. But Tyson could have easily hooked him at that point. I don't know. I felt like it was a money grab. I felt like it was fixed from the get-go, and it didn't go too far from the way I thought it would go.
I was picturing and waiting for. I think I was too, desensitized by his knockout of what's his face in The Hangover. Yeah. When he sucker punches him and knocks his lights out. That's what I was expecting, to just see one punch and drop him. But of course that's a movie and not Jake Paul.
All right. So, I mean, aside from just the fight, though, can we talk about how bad Netflix was? I mean, the amount of buffering and freezing and just a blurry screen. It was awful. I mean, it was kind of like Patrick said. We won't get that time back. I mean, but it was definitely long. We got to Russell's house at was it 6 or 7 o'clock? Huh? What time? 7. Yeah. And we didn't leave till probably midnight. So I mean, it was 5 hours we were there watching that shit.
I saw quite a few people post on Facebook. They're like, "I'm going to bed. I'll just find out what happens tomorrow."
to basically see very little of it because of all the blurriness and the freezing and the buffering, and it's.
I think
Netflix needs to do better with that.
I think for me, the blurriness cleared up at the fight right after or in between the fight before the women's fight. I think that's when I stopped noticing like any kind of, or at least we stopped having issues with it. But the best fight tonight was by far the women's fight.
I would agree with that, but I mean the women's fight when we were at Russell's was blurry pretty much the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they changed Xboxes twice. We went from just regular TV streaming to, I think, 2 different Xboxes and trying to find the best device. Mike was pulling it up on his phone, and it seemed to be clear more often than not. One of Russell's friends, too, even had it on his phone and went and sat it in front of the TV. And it's like we could probably see it clearer on that tiny screen than on the giant blurry TV.
Yeah, it was kind of a shame because, like y'all said, the both of the title fights that were part of the main card both looked very good. You know, the 2 champions retained their titles, but at the same time, they were both looked like they were very action-packed. But it was, you know, at certain parts in the fight, kind of hard to figure out who was actually winning. You could see the action taking place, but it was through kind of blurred vision. You know, and that's Sean made the joke earlier about he didn't realize, or we should have asked for 3D glasses just because of how blurry it was, and maybe we could have saw better with the 3D glasses. But it is a shame because those 2 fights actually looked to it and appeared to be pretty good. We just couldn't catch a lot of them between the blurriness and the buffering and the freezing. You know? So Netflix, if you're going to offer something like that in the future, you know, hopefully you've got all the kinks worked out, you know, before you realize you have, you know, millions and billions of people watching.
Billions and billions.
Well, the funny thing is they were advertising. I believe it was what the Steelers Ravens game that they were playing on Netflix this week, and they were advertising that yesterday.
Oh yeah, they had enough balls to advertise the live football games coming up soon. I think it's this year, right? They're doing like a playoff game even. So like, you better get your shit together before the playoffs.
Right. Yep, there may not be as many people watching that, but at the same time, probably still a pretty good bit of people will be.
Yeah, if it's late in the season, I think one of them's a Chiefs game, so you know everybody's going to turn in and see Mahomes.
That's true.
So,
well, does anybody else want to add anything on that before we move on?
One last thing. Okay, Travis brought this up, and like I just saw on Twitter or Facebook one of them, like a picture of Jake Paul getting weighed in, like his first fight, and a picture of Jake Paul getting weighed in at the Mike Tyson fight, and the transformation and the change is very, very drastic. One of them, of course, being the amount of tattoos that Paul has accumulated over the years. And Travis made a good point when we were watching the fight that his aside from the stupid ass tiger tattoo that he has behind the ear. If you guys have not been inside of a tattoo parlor, usually right when you walk in, there's like, you know, you remember how in Walmart you used to flip through like the posters that you'd have? Well, there's something like that, except it's like different types of artwork, and most of them are just the most generic pieces of shit you would ever see.
Right.
So I don't know who the hell actually flips in there and says, yes, that's what I want. But that's what Jake Paul's tattoos look like.
Give me this right here on page 32.
Posters and it's like, yeah, I want that.
I want that on me the rest of my life. That's how I make a decision.
No, you know, he's got a snake. He's got, you know, some kind of sword. You know, just kind of the most stereotypical stuff you would find in those books. And our artist, I actually asked you know, our artist, you know, how many people actually do that. He said you would be surprised at the number of people that just walk in there and pick something out of there.
I just want a tattoo. I don't care what it is.
But it just surprises me because, I mean, I know Justin Bieber's got like a ton of shitty tattoos too. And it's just all these dudes making millions upon millions of dollars. I mean, obviously, Patrick just estimated that Jake Paul's making about $40 million from Friday night. You think you would have like a better tattoo artist or at least pick better artwork than what he's got.
I guess in their professions, it doesn't matter. I see that with enough, you know, band members and stuff. It just seems like the most random shit they put on them. Yeah. It don't matter.
Like Adam Levine, he's got some pretty ugly ones too, just kind of randomly spread out throughout his body.
Question. will you watch another Jake Paul fight? Or what level of celebrity / athlete would it take for you to watch another fight?
Joe Biden.
I honestly don't know because I just feel like whichever one it is gonna be a fixed money grab.
Right.
So I mean, now honestly, like with this one, I didn't mind as much. I didn't feel ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, like you said, we didn't get our time back, but I didn't spend any money on it.
Right.
Netflix, we already paid for the Netflix subscription. So I mean, there's rumors that he wants to fight Conor McGregor, and he's saying he wants to do an MMA match because he knows Conor doesn't want to box him.
Mm-hmm.
I hate both of them. So I mean, if one of them gets knocked out, it'd be great. But I have a feeling it'd probably end much like this Tyson fight. But
if they announce a deal, let's say 2026, New Year's Eve, 2025, 2026, McGregor Paul, you watching?
Yeah. Well, if it's New Year's Eve, I mean, we normally outside blowing up stuff anyway.
Around that time, like, pick any time frame. I don't know why I picked that specific time, but any time frame.
Black Friday.
I mean, if I'm not paying for it, probably.
Well, okay, if it's pay-per-view, probably not.
Hell no.
Maybe if enough, put like $5 in.
Yeah, we have to get a big group of people.
Yeah, I'm not paying them $50 for it.
One thing that I did appreciate about this, and I wish Russell was kind of here to hear this. We actually got to meet. I know we met his friend Brett, who's a really cool guy, but I got to meet all of his other friends, and they all seem like just really cool, funny, genuine dudes. So I mean, it was nice to meet Russell's friends and hang out with my own friends and drink. But again, it was just that the buffering kind of pissed us all off. The freezing, just the length of time, and of course the overall outcome of the main event was just pretty sad.
It was not good.
It was not good.
Yeah, one of the names that was thrown out, which I would watch because he's an actual boxer, but I think he's a good bit smaller than Paul, would be Canelo. That was one of the names that was thrown out as far as somebody that he wanted to fight or somebody he called out.
It was rumored that he was going to call him out after this fight. I don't think he did though.
And that one would probably definitely be on a pay-per-view rather than a free Netflix thing. But if, again, like Sean said, if enough people put in, I wouldn't mind watching that because Jake Paul seems to have a worse track record when he's fighting an actual boxer, who's around his own age or in his prime, So
I would pay for the Canelo Paul fight only because I think this will be the first opponent he would have that can actually box and actually boxes well and would legitimately just technically pick him apart.
Yeah.
And also has enough punching power probably to rock him and knock him down. But he's definitely, from a technical standpoint, would give him the business. So for that, yeah, I'd pay for that fight. But anything else, I can't think of another celebrity that you could throw out there and be like, yeah, I want to watch him fight that person. Like Arnold? Like, what's he going to pick next? Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. The funny
Sylvester Stallone.
The funny things is that he's going through and they're picking just random old people like the thing I shared yesterday with Corso. That he called out 79-year-old Corso or 89-year-old.
That was on the
Corso is now.
The cold open of Saturday Night Live last night. It was Dana Carvey as Biden and one of the cast members as Trump, and it was like he's like, "Whoa, so what are you gonna do now?" And Biden's like, fight Jake Paul, and it was live from New York. It's Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, I guess moving on from Paul and Tyson, did anybody watch the Jones Miocic fight?
I didn't. I heard about it. I didn't find out about it was actually happening until like midday yesterday, so I didn't even know it was about. I'm not a huge MMA person, so I'm certainly not a big John Jones fan.
Yeah.
Technically, I understand that he's fantastic. He's probably, arguably, pound for pound, the best MMA fighter maybe that ever lived. Don't love him as a person outside of that, so I really don't have an interest in.
He didn't look as bones-ish from the pictures I saw. He looked a little meaty.
Yeah, he's definitely age is starting to catch up with him. He's not as lean as he was before. But the one thing, he has one loss on his record, and I remember watching that fight, and I thought his loss was actually total bullshit because it was a disqualification on Matt Hamill. You remember him?
Oh, I was going to say it was Cormier, but no.
No, he was just he was elbowing him, but he didn't really get a warning to stop the elbows. I don't remember who the referee was. It might have been Herb Bean, probably. But he just called it, and it's like, no, you're elbowing disqualification. It's like didn't even see the dude get a warning. Yeah. He was owning him. So I mean, he would have won that one too. Yeah. I actually same kind of thing. Like I think this would for me if I watched, and it was one of them I was kind of interested in, but now after seeing the quick result of it, I'm also glad I did not pay for this one. I would have been pulling for Miocic. Carson and I actually watched the Ultimate Fighter season recently when Cormier coached against Stipe Miocic, and Cormier and Miocic actually fought 3 times, but they still have no bad blood towards each other. They're still like really good friends. As a matter of fact, I think Cormier interviewed Miocic before this fight, and they hugged it out and joked with each other. And they, usually when the coaches are from the Ultimate Fighter are coaching against each other, there's usually a lot of hostility between the two guys because they're about to fight. Like same thing through the season, just joked with each other the whole time. And I think Miocic beat Cormier twice out of 3 times. But I was really pulling for Miocic just based upon watching that show. He seems like just a genuinely good guy. And Jones seems like an asshole. But like y'all said, the guy is, he even though he may look not as in shape as he was, the guy still is very skilled, and he may go down as the best MMA fighter of all time. It's ridiculous, how the guy, even as he's getting up there in age, just still dominates fights.
You said the fight ended kind of early.
I think it was a TKO, and I want to say it was like first or second round.
Oh, okay. I think I saw the TKO headline, but I didn't see how fast it ended.
Yeah, he ends up, he kicked him he gave him one of those liver kicks, and he fell over, and then when he fell over, he got a nice shot on the face, and that was pretty much the end of the fight. But I think kind of the same. I think Miocic went into this fight realizing it was going to be his last fight, probably win or lose. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he, really went into it with the heart to win it. Because he's getting both of the guys are getting kind of up there in age as far as fighters are concerned.
With the what still? You said the heart.
How many hearts? Not the heart with an E. Okay, but yeah,
I didn't say RTE. Wait, no.
Not hard E. I'm
Mark with a C, and then
so you assholes gonna drink this Pumpkinator or what? So yeah, we'll move on from boxing and MMA. Again, I did not buy the card. Now I'm kind of glad I didn't. I did want to watch the fight originally, but to see that it wasn't that great of a fight, I'm kind of glad that I did not pay the money for it. Okay, so we'll move on from the Tyson, Paul, Jones, Miocic, and we're going to actually sample something that Todd brought for us today. So Todd, I'll let Todd, lead us into that, and then we'll do kind of a little bit of alcohol talk.
So I think I brought up, I don't know if it was the previous pod or maybe the one before that, we were talking about pumpkin beers, and I've only had one before, and it came in like this winter variety pack, and it was just a pumpkin ale, and it was absolutely disgusting. It made me want, I think I almost threw up in my mouth just taking one sip of it. So I took one sip, threw it out. But this one caught my eye because it's a stout, which I feel like stout probably mixes with pumpkin a little bit better than a generic ale would. So it's called St. Arnold Pumpkinator and Imperial Pumpkin Stout. Now Travis and I visited St. Arnold's the last time we went to Houston. A really cool brewery. I don't know if the way they have it set up is the same, but you pay like $10 to get in. They give you I think 4 like poker chips, and you bring those to the bar, and you get to pick 4 beers. It may be a little bit different now. That's how it was last time we went.
Yeah, they've I went for a bachelor party a few years ago, and you suggested we go there because again not really any of the people I was with had heard of it before, or really were brewery hoppers of my caliber. But they were happy I made the suggestion. But no, they actually have completely shifted to more of the beer garden style, where you just kind of walk up, get it. They don't do the tokens anymore. I'm sure you could sample a beer if you wanted to, but it's strictly like a beer garden with a crap ton of taps, and they've added a kitchen to it now, so there's a food menu there. So they may still do the tours, but it's probably only like certain times of the week.
So the fact that it was St. Arnold's alone kind of caught my eye. The time I went, there was plenty of good beers on tap. One of them was called Santo. That was my favorite one. I think it was a dark lager. I've never seen it bottled or canned anywhere, and I wish it was because it was my favorite that I had when I was there. I know Travis likes the fancy lawnmower, and one that I usually always get is it's the raspberry, right? The one with the little picnic blanket.
Yes.
Like look around the can.
Oh, yeah. I like that one, too.
That one's really good. Haven't had it in a while.
What's it called? Shit.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I want to say like something with Raz.
I'll keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
But this one also has a really cool bottle. It's got St. Arnold on it with like a moon behind them and a haunted castle and a pumpkin on the side of it. So I mean, I've already had half my glass. To me, it's pretty good. It's got a pumpkin aftertaste, but like I said, I think the pumpkin aftertaste and the stout mix really well. So you guys take your little shot glass of it and let me know what you think.
The beer you're looking for is called Raspberry AF.
Raspberry.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Raspberry AF.
Go back to the picture.
Yep, that's what it is.
Huh. Okay. I feel like I remember that, but yeah, definitely I remember
It's good.
It's very good.
I remember
It's
the
very
checkered
good.
pattern. I've had a 6-pack.
How many hearts out of 5?
4 1/4.
I'd say like 4.2, 4.25.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
It's not quite as good as I probably wouldn't say it's as good as Purple Haze or even the old Dixie Crimson Voodoo, but it's very good.
What about the raspberry coffee from Port Orleans?
Don't even get me started on that. That was the raspberry coffee break, never released in cans or bottles from Port Orleans. Was probably one of the best, probably the best raspberry beer I've had. So Port Orleans, if you're listening, you should can that.
Bring it back.
You know they are. You know they're listening.
It was just one of those, because they do those like special releases every now and then. It was part of that, but they never, probably like kind of like Sean's Oreo cookie thing, the cookie stout that he likes.
I've never seen that in cans.
It's probably just like that.
It's probably a bunch of froth in a can.
What's the
raspberry coffee break though?
what's the alcohol on that thing?
I was looking for that earlier. I don't see it.
Hopefully this is
10.3.
oof. I like it.
All right, are we about ready to do this? Do the sample here. So we're about to sample, and we'll give you our. Well, Todd's already drinking some.
It's a Todd.
I already gave mine.
Wait, we didn't.
While we were sampling and like, figuring out, you talk while we're kind of tasting.
Well, we didn't mention it. We're going to also say give our opinions on this popcorn, lesser evil pumpkin spice popcorn after.
Sure. I mean, I already ate half the bag, so I'll let you know what
Travis tore into it.
I'll let you know what I thought of it after I take my shot here of Pumpkinator.
We didn't make it much of a thing like the cookies that had different shades last week.
All right, guys.
So the fellas are toasting.
1,
They're
2,
about
3, and bottoms up.
This looks like a Jaeger shot.
They're about to down this St. Arnold's Pumpkinator, Imperial Pumpkin Stout, give their opinions on it.
Ooh, interesting.
If I was to give it out of 5 hearts, I would say it's probably about 3.8 maybe? 3.8?
Heavy pumpkin flavor, yeah.
It's got a nice little pumpkin aftertaste.
Yep. So that's my thing. It goes in very easily. It's got that stouty taste going in, but then it leaves like a very weird aftertaste.
It's got that Jaeger thickness to it.
It almost leaves like a cough medicine aftertaste.
It's got a Jaeger bomb taste to it now.
Jaeger bomb.
So my first thought for taste was stout, then heavy pumpkin, and then I got like a gingerbread cookie kind of note.
You can smell the gingerbready.
Yeah. And then I realized, I don't like that. So the beer quality,
it was very eggnoggy.
Notes of gingerbread.
The beer's not bad. I would.
How many hearts?
3.5.
That's higher than I thought you would give it.
It's not bad. Pumpkin is not really my thing, so it's a little heavy. If you like pumpkin, it's a 4, 4.5, 4 1/4 beer for you.
Pumpkin.
For me, it's because it's the stout. Because I'm not I don't dislike stouts, but I usually go for lighter beers.
Yeah.
Like the Pitchin' Pumpkins it's an ale, so ale's higher on the lighter scale. So that one's easier to drink for me.
I just think the stouts actually mixes well.
I love it.
That's what's surprising about the Pitchin' Pumpkins is that it's not a stout or a porter or something. Usually when like peanut butters or chocolates or pumpkin ale like that, there are usually dark beers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I'm saying Rally Cap pitching pumpkins, because Rally Cap's listening.
So I gave it 3.8 hearts. Patrick gave it 3.5. How about you, Sean? Overall, what is it?
Yeah, I'd go 3.5, 3.8. Let's go 3.7.
I might go to lowest and just do a 3. But it's
3.75.
I'm not. I've said it before. I'm not the biggest fan of pumpkin beers. Like I don't know. Like the cinnamon doesn't mix well with beers for me. The reason I probably like this one a little bit better than most pumpkin beers, just in the sense because, again, I think it does go better. I think the pumpkin flavor does go better with a stout than it does, say, a lighter lager or something like that, because it hides the cinnamon at first, to where you're not overly cinnamon. You're not getting that overly cinnamony taste right away.
I'll say this: I think I would rate the beer higher if the pumpkin flavor was a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it's too much pumpkin. It's a little bit too much for me, but it still tastes fine. If it were a little less pronounced, I think I would probably rate it higher. It's just more pumpkin than I would want, even though obviously it's a pumpkin ale or a pumpkin stout. So, it's going to be heavy on that flavor.
Where did you get this? It says 1 pint 6 ounces. So that's what? That's 24? No. What's 1 pint 6 ounces? 22? Where'd you get this bad boy from?
That was in Whole Foods.
Yeah. It's not a 40.
Normally when you get a Whole Foods, you're expecting a 4-pack or 6-pack, and I saw it and I was like,
This is how some of the St. Louis breweries were selling stuff. Like I think it was like that habanero, the one at Heavy Riff or something. It was like I was gonna buy some, and then they only sold it in bottles like this. I'm like, I don't want a freaking wine bottle of it.
I have the first brewery Travis and I ever went to, and this is with a trip that we took with Brian Newman. We went to Sam Adams Brewery, and that kind of got us on the whole brewery kick. But the one I brought home was similar to a Viking mead, and even has a Viking on the bottle. I actually still have the bottle on my refrigerator in my man cave, but it came in one similar to size.
Well, this can kind of jump right in a little bit into what is everybody else. Oh, let's do the before we do what's everybody drinking. Let's give our opinions on this pumpkin popcorn here.
Did we already talk about the lesser evil, the pink Himalayan salt or whatever it was?
Pink Himalayan salt's really good.
Because with the coconut oil or whatever, and definitely smells like coconut, but that doesn't take away from the flavor. This is the same brand, Lesser Evil, Simple Acts, Clean Snacks. I don't know why it's clean, because there's still fat and carbs and stuff in this stuff. Like a good bit of saturated fat, but whatever. I guess it's, organic coconut oil and Himalayan pink salt, but this one's the pumpkin spice version. So
it kind of these kind of remind me a little bit of almost like cinnamon twist a little bit, because it tastes like popcorn with this kind of like the dry cinnamon on it. I was actually, and I think they have some pieces in here but it looks like mostly just a regular popcorn coated with cinnamon. But they have some that look like they're kind of like
these
like hard coated.
I'm noticing some yellow pieces in there. It's kind of like Mike's cookies with the different colors.
Yeah. So I was expecting a little bit more of those pieces because those are kind of the sweeter pieces that go in.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's bad by any stretch. I mean, again, I ate a shit ton of them to start this pod, so I'm not going to say it's bad by any stretch. But I was expecting a little more of the harder pieces that are the sweeter pieces in there. But still overall very good,
I'm glad Mike isn't here to critique what I'm about to say. This is the opposite of the St. Onof's beer. There's the pumpkin spice is muted enough to I don't get a overpowering flavor of it. Where I like it. Would I buy it? No. But if I was at another party or a house and that's all we had, I'm going to snack on it. It's solid. It's a 3.5 for me. It's got enough pumpkin spice to be flavorful, but not over the top. But again, obviously me, not my first choice for flavor, but I'd eat it.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.5 as well. It's not the best popcorn I've had. I think I actually just like the regular Himalayan pink salt one's better that someone provided.
I'll have to find. I've seen another one that's like a golden something. I forget what it was, but it wasn't the pink salt. It was a gold. It was written in yellow. I'll have to grab that just to see what flavor it is.
The Himalayan salt version ruins almost every other popcorn. That's not that you don't pop yourself. That comes in a bag for me right now, with the exception of Smart Pop has a movie theater butter version. I tried that for the first time this week. Very, very good. That's a 4. That's a 4.5, maybe 4.5 hearts out of 5.
And these were a random purchase at Target last week. Just happened to see them on the shelf. I'm like, all right, well, we've been trying pumpkin spice stuff. I have to get a couple of bags.
Yeah, that's pumpkin. In the words of Big Ross, I wouldn't kick it out of bed. All right, so what's everybody, since we started off talking about or sampling out this Pumpkinator here to do our second segment after the fights. What's everybody drinking? I know Todd's looks like he's continuing on with the Pumpkinator beer. I'll let you two guys go first because I'll tell a story based upon mine.
I'll be quick. I'm drinking some Angel's Envy bourbon, which I don't know what to say about it other than it's just 43%, 86.6 proof. And I tried this at someone's house and was surprised that it doesn't have, for as heavy on the alcohol content, it's very smooth, doesn't have a lot of bite, and then I can just pour it over ice and go to town on it. It's kind of dangerous. I've even had it at Vinny's Caddy Shack. If y'all know Vinny's, they have like shit ton of alcohol. Mm-hmm. And I saw it behind the counter, and at one of our work happy hours, I think I went through too many Angel's Envies, and finally went and bought a bottle of Total Wine, which I guess they call it a $50 bottle, but it's $41.99 at Total. $58.99 at Saving Time, and I was like, I know I can do better than that, and so I went to Total, and it was like the other end. So, yeah, for a $41.99 bottle of bourbon, I could get in trouble with this bottle. Let's call it that.
Sure. I'm also drinking bourbon. I'm drinking Jefferson's bourbon, the Ocean's Weeded. It's pretty solid, 90 proof. You could probably drink it on the rocks, on ice, or neat. Solid. Nothing to write home about, but it's a solid bottle that I picked up for free. So drinking it.
Okay.
Free never hurts usually.
Yeah. What kind of bourbon is good? Free bourbon.
Some free bourbon.
Yeah,
not always.
It's not always for early times. I mean,
Hey, the certain early times are actually very good. Not all of them.
Not the ones in the plastic bottle.
No,
I would say that at work when people are like, "What do you like to eat for lunch?" I go, free lunch.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll jump in then. I'm not drinking anything tonight. I actually had quite a few mixed drinks last night. Based upon, I ended up making a Total Wine stop on Friday. I made a Total Wine stop on Friday to pick up beer for to go to the Mike Tyson fight. And I decided that I wanted to get some cheap beer to bring a 12-pack or a case over to Russell's house. So my plan in mind was to go get some PBR, so that's what I did. And then I ended up giving Patrick a call, as I pull up in Total Wine, because I decided that I was low on some High West bourbon at home. So I was like, all right, you know what? While I'm here picking up some beer, I'm going to grab a bottle of bourbon. Patrick's always my go-to guy, when I call up and ask him, because he knows my taste. He knows I like High West. He knows I like, Wild Turkey, Long Branch. So I always try to kick his brain on ones he thinks I would like. So then I'm calling Patrick, and Patrick has no answer. And then as I'm on the phone with Patrick, they have, one of the, should I say it like this? I don't know, but one of the kind of annoying sales reps that are walking around the stores who constantly ask you, "How you doing? Do you need any help with anything?"
Patrick's not here to defend anything.
So this guy,
he has left the building. For our listeners out there.
So this guy sees me on the phone, and I'm waiting for Patrick to pick up while I'm on the phone, and this guy's just kind of standing there a couple feet away. Again, Patrick didn't pick up, so then he waits for me to hang up, and he says, "Hey, do you need any help with anything?"
Sorry, I was beating it.
And my original response to that is always, "No, I'm good. I'm just looking," because I was saying when you were out of the room, my taste based upon High West and Long Branch, my two favorites. Mm-hmm. What you could suggest to me for a new bourbon. So then the guy asked me, well, do you need any help with anything? I was like, no, man, I'm just looking. And then he's like, well, what kind are you interested in? I was like, what kind are you interested in? Or what kind's your favorite? And I said, you know what, man? And I decided that I was going to go in there and get a gift for somebody as well. So I asked the person about that. I was like, well, do you have this specific, where I'm not, for the the sake of somebody maybe listening to the show, I'm not going to say which one it is, but I said, well, do you have this bourbon? And this guy literally like gets down like on his knees, and he's like crawling and like digging through the stuff for me. So like, I mean, he's like,
I mean, it was Mike Tyson on the way in.
Well, wait, you can say the bottle. If it's a name that I need to like drop out, I'll drop it. But what brand? What were you looking for?
It was the one I texted you about from Russell's house.
Okay. Yes. Okay, got it.
So because I see all the OF brand, but I don't see that one. So I was like, yeah, can you look for, do y'all have this one in stock? And then I swear, this guy gets on his knees, and because they're on the bottom two shelves, and he's like spreading the bottles across, and he's like, dips his head all the way in the shelf, and you can barely see him. And then he comes out with one. So then I was like, holy fuck! I was like, I guess all I had to do was look. But pulls the bottle out of one. So then he's like, is there anything else you need help with? And I was like, no. So I was like, I was going to get one for myself. And he's like, he's thinking that bottle that he pulled was for me, but it wasn't for me. But then he's like, well, hey, if you like this one, I need to recommend this one over here to you. So I follow him over there, and he pulls out the Bibb and Tucker.
Meanwhile, Travis is just like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. I'm like, this guy's going to probably pull out like an $80 bottle and try to get me to buy it. And then
some Russells.
It was only like a $45 to $50 bottle. So then I was hearing him out, and then I looked at the top, and the top had one of those cool corks in it that had like a little brass thing on the top, kind of like Blanton's does. But it was the Bibb and Tucker. It was like it's a $45, $50 bottle. So I actually ended up buying it. And last night I probably had about 6 mixed drinks of it, and was not feeling that great this morning. Feeling good last night, but wasn't feeling that good.
To be fair, that wasn't the Bibb and Tucker's fault. It was just the quantity fault.
Oh yeah. It
was user error. It wasn't like that single barrel thing.
No. It was just a regular one that was reasonably priced. But I actually thought it was pretty good.
So when I called you back, we kind of talked about what you were looking for, and you said that someone recommended something to you. I asked you what, you told me. I was like, okay, that's fine. That was not what I expected them to recommend. They have not a list, but that like they have a hierarchy of what they want to sell, but they definitely have certain bottles that they recommend more than others for
watered down
reasons, let's say.
No, it's good.
But yeah, the Bibb and Tucker, it's a decent bottle. It's nothing to write home about, but it's not crap for sure.
Yeah.
So that like I told you, there are others in that price range that you could have gone with, and I'll be better about returning a phone call.
No problem. So I didn't walk away with any regrets there. I said I tried it, liked it, and usually I give my corks to Todd so he can put them in that little table he has in the man cave, so he'll get a nice little cork from it as well.
It's getting pretty full. It's like about halfway there.
So, but yeah, so that's why I'm not drinking, because I had quite a bit of Bibb and Tucker last night, so I decided to hold off from drinking tonight, other than the Pumpkinator sample.
Fine.
I mean, Travis wrote down like Total Wine is one of the topics tonight, and I just have a little bit of something to add, because there have been times on the pod where we've given Total Wine some shit for not having stuff that we wanted in stock, and Travis tends to kind of push the blame on Patrick, even though he doesn't necessarily work there.
It's all Patrick's fault.
I just like to give him a hard time.
And I'm going to tell you, this is kind of like almost like an apology, because we've given so many shout-outs to Dorignac's for having shit in stock. Well, yesterday morning before I saw 2 clients, I was stopping at Dorignac's to try and get Jessica's favorite bottle of wine. She likes a brand called Born of Fire, and their Chardonnay. And I know exactly where it is in Dorignac's, so I'm like, fuck it, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to get in there and get out, and I'll make it in time. So I go walk in there, go look at that usual spot where it's at. It's not there. So I walk and was like, well, maybe they moved it. Maybe they restocked everything and they changed the shelves around. Let me go walk around. Could not find it. They didn't have it. So yesterday when we leave the St Tammany collector convention, we ended up stopping and eating lunch at Chipotle, and in Chipotle, the same shopping center as Chipotle's in, there is a Total Wine. So I was like, well, let me go see if Total Wine has it. Sure enough, they had it. So I will give a shout out to Total Wine on this one for coming through in the clutch for me.
They have a lot of wine.
For one of the
They totally have one.
Yeah, one of the 7,000 SKUs that they have in the building.
But the past couple of times I've been there, at least the one in the Metairie location, they haven't had it. So
I guess you got to drive all the way out to St Tammany.
So the one in fucking St Tammany Parish in Mandeville has it.
I want to trek to the North Shore.
When you get a situation like that, it might take you a little time to just go to the customer service and tell them what you're looking for. A lot of times it's that they might be out on the shelf, but it's up in the top stock that's right above where it's located. So just go to customer service, ask
Like
them.
the little cardboard thing that says Chardonnay, they might have some.
Yeah, on top. Like when you see the top shelf of all the cases stacked up high, they probably have it up there. Or it's in the back. Some stuff, like bulk, if you go and ask for Naomi wine and it's out on in the shelf, there's cases in the back for sure. So yeah, just go. Yeah. But you also had, I mean, you could have gone to Martin's Wine Cellar right up the road.
But isn't Martin's a little pricey?
If you want to spend for pricey wine, yes. But they also have the normal wines for about the same price as you would find at most anywhere.
So we'll say something, not necessarily shout out, but I mean some props to Martin's. Because the last time I went there, I was looking, I made my mom this Mother's Day gift. With all the grandkids, because I miraculously found the bottle with each of our kids' names. I mean,
I remember we talked about that.
So I found a Camden, I found a Grayson, even though I had to change the spelling up on it. Grayson did a really good job with that. A Carson and a Scarlet. The Scarlet bottle is really cool, but that one actually came from California, from the actual company. But the Camden one I couldn't find anywhere, like in any stores. I found it online, couldn't find it anywhere that would ship here. So I got somebody to print me the label, and I just scraped the bottle off and made that. But when I was actually looking for that, I had actually asked Martin's if they had it in stock, because somebody told me, well, Martin's usually has everything. If they don't have it, they can get it for you. And the lady that I spoke to was very helpful. She looked it up and she said, "Oh no, they're not distributing anywhere here." So
yeah, and that was before some laws changed in our state where we couldn't get certain wine or alcohol shipped into the state because of just laws. That since been changed. So if you find a place online that has it, you can now get wine shipped in the state to you from elsewhere. Like I've had to order wine from New York before, just for a vintage that no one else carried, and they did. This shop had that is true.
I'm not gonna lie, I had 3 White Claws yesterday. That's all we had in the steam fridge. That wasn't beer when we were doing the work around school. I didn't want to drink beer, so all right, I guess I'll have a White Claw.
To do a small aside, but related, talking about like seltzers and White Claws, it's funny. Like I see it more obviously than you guys do working in this industry. Name brands that come and go. Like when seltzers first came out, everyone was drinking White Claw and Truly. And they have been surpassed by High Noon. Is the biggest. High Noon's the biggest seltzer in the game, and I don't know when that's going to change. Truly is trying to make a comeback with some new flavors and a bit of like rebranding, but like the seltzer market has grown so much in the last year to almost a year and a half now. But everyone who has like a vodka or some other like spirit is now making a seltzer version of their product because it's easy to transport. It's fairly cost effective. You can do a packaging of like a 4, an 8, a 12, or a 24 variety pack. They're healthier, quote unquote, than beer if you're drinking it and stuff like that. And like the flavor possibility is fucking endless.
Right.
So seltzers are weird, but yeah, like White Claw has fallen off as a seltzer. Like you rarely see people with White Claws, just because there's so many other varieties. Like High Noon is dominating right now.
The fair had them. It's probably because they were easy to get. You know, we got them in cases and
Oh yeah,
sold them for $5 a pop, which seems like highway robbery.
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, well, maybe a popular opinion, but I mean, I unpopular opinion. But I'm not really a fan of seltzers like at all. Like I feel like they dry my mouth out.
Get out. No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, I know Topo Chico makes seltzers.
I like those.
I think those are probably the best ones I've had.
There's some misses in the market for seltzer brands, but I think for the most part, the majority of them do a pretty good job of making a seltzer that's be it clean and like, let's say healthy, whatever, and also a good flavor profile. But there's a lot of variety. If you drink vodka, like you can go get a deep Eddy vodka, like a grapefruit. So like any flavors of thing you like, they probably have a seltzer for it and that goes with it. So if that should want to be your thing, then there's that option too.
I've even tried those Dos Equis that have been out for a couple years. They're still beer. They don't have seltzer written on them, but they're like flavored pineapple and watermelon and other ones. And it's their happy medium between a seltzer and a beer, but it's still Dos Equis.
Yeah. And then
they're in a variety pack or whatever.
And now you see a lot of seltzers that are going to like super healthy, like low carbonation. And that's the thing. I think for a lot of people is like the amount of carbonation in the seltzers is usually less than some beers, so you don't have like that weird like gut feeling. Some seltzers have zero carbonation in them.
The Celsiuses are even like that. They have the ones mixed with green tea, then it says no carbonation on it. Those you can drink, like, down them in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
They're good. I mean, when you can find them.
Well, before we fully move on from the Total Wine on the North Shore, Todd and I attended the St Tammany Collectors Convention yesterday. I know you guys didn't go, so I don't think we have to talk long about it. But I will say one thing that I have noticed about it, I'll talk about my haul in a second, but one thing I've noticed, the popularity of these things seem to be increasing. So, like, the crowds were worse yesterday, and I've noticed the vendors kind of taking advantage of that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Where the prices for figurines that are loose in a Ziploc bag, they were charging like $30 for loose figurines, which there's no way that that's actually what it's worth. But so that was a little frustrating. I mean, I think between Todd and I and the boys, we all found enough things that we wanted over there for cheaper prices, but that was a little discouraging going over there and seeing so many loose figurines for so much money. And we walk away from that and it's like, oh yeah, it's $30. It's like $30. It's like in a fucking Ziploc. It's like
like a garage sale.
Like it looked like you pulled it out of a toy basket in the garage.
In that case, I have a case of Ninja Turtles from the '90s worth about $3,000. It's like,
yeah, so that was a little discouraging, but I did walk away with a couple of things. I shared the picture, in the group text. I think the thing that I was most excited about, weirdly, which I completely forgot about these things, but this was back when they made the re-release of all the Star Wars movies, and I guess it was either Taco Bell or Pizza Hut or KFC, one of them in that line. They made the drink cups that had those big toppers on them of the characters. And then they had the Jar Jar Binks like character. It wasn't Jar Jar Binks, but it was his same species.
It was the leader of the.
That's what I was wondering what that was. I knew it wasn't Jar Jar Binks, but it looked like the same.
Yeah, he was the leader of the army.
So.
And I saw him and I was like, oh, that's kind of obscure. That's not something you see every day. And then of course I buy it from the guy. It was only $5, so that was another positive there. But he went into detail about him and said, you don't remember these? These were the cup toppers back from Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. And
it's like, you didn't even have to pay extra for them. They just came with the cups.
And he had like a whole line of them. Like he had like a whole collection that he was selling at $5 a piece. So again, reasonably priced. I found a Doug Quailman keychain.
Yeah, that was
$1.
Like
so
Simply Dusty.
And then I also got a Sabretooth figurine, which was really cool. I paid $18 for that. Not proud of that. And then $15 for a little Popeye kind of Hot Wheels on a boat that was from 1980. So that was my haul. But I'm pretty proud of myself for only spending about $40 over there. So
what did Carson take home?
Carson got a bunch of Rick and Morty figures. He got two Mortys, a Mr. Poopy Butthole. He got a Namer figurine, and he got a little Joker figurine. He pretty much every con we go to, he brings home a Joker. Joker's his guy. But
Joker, the Joker, like Batman?
Yeah, the Joker for Batman.
You mean the Riddler? No,
not like
no, the Diddler.
You mean
the Diddler?
So yeah, he brings home a Joker every time we go to. In his room, he's got
hanging on the chair over there.
In his room, he's basically got a Joker section along his bed and bookshelf. So, yeah, all in all, good experience. Like I said, the only thing I can complain about was the crowd was a little worse than normal, and I think the vendors were kind of taking advantage of the prices. But You want to talk about what you brought home, Todd?
I mean, for a while, I always look for, at every con I go to, I look for either like the old DC or Marvel action figures, and I find that those are kind of like astronomically priced. One of them that I kind of regret not getting, I saw one time in Kmart before it closed, was a Venom / Eddie Brock figure where he's kind of turning into Venom. And I saw it at the Comic-Con, but at the last, I'm sure it was astronomically expensive. It was still in the box. But I did manage to find a Ronan the Accuser figure, and it wasn't from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I actually wanted one from the comic books, and I found it for $10. So that probably was my favorite thing that I brought home. Camden found a Sabretooth Mystery Mini, Funko Mystery Mini. And from the same vendor, I managed to find in a box a little mini probably 2 or 3 inch Roadblock G.I. Joe figure. But it was like, for the life of me, I can't find it on Google what the hell kind of figure it is. It's like a really tiny, thick figure, and he's like all jacked up holding a machine gun. I still haven't found what it is, but that's also really cool. I got a Clopan from Hunchback of Notre Dame in the same box. I think that was an old Burger King figure and combined those 3 things, the Sabretooth, the Roadblock, and the Clopan, were $5 total, so that wasn't bad. What was the other thing I got? Oh yeah, the Wolfman from Nightmare Before Christmas, like the NECA figure of that, and that was only $10. NECA, it's a company that makes
naked figure, Patrick.
NECA.
He thought he might have used another N-word.
I didn't suggest that. I
said naked.
NECA.
Yeah.
NECA makes some really cool figures.
Now, Sean.
Oh boy. What did Camden take?
Well, aside from the Sabretooth Mystery Mini,
That's
next one.
Let me cut in here with Camden's. So Camden saw this Rhino figure that the guy Rhino from was it Spider-Man? He's a villain in Spider-Man. And it was pretty big. It was probably he liked Camden's big thing is like he likes to find the.
As you remember, the last time we did the special in Camden's corner with the big Killer Croc figure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so he sees this and he's got his heart set on it the whole time. Like right when we get there, it's like one of our first tables we go to. The guy says, "Oh, this one's $40," and he has to explain why it's $40. So he's like because you have to buy the pieces in different packs and put it together. It's like a puzzle.
Okay.
So he explained that's why I do it. Well, then so he said, "Okay, well, we might come back and do that." So we did. At the end of the show, we come back. And the motherfucker tries to tell us, "Oh, that one's $50." It's like, you told me it was 40 earlier. Mm-hmm. I had to call him out. He said, "Oh, it's right. That's right. I did." But it's like he was trying to even go higher than what he told us originally. You know?
Hey, man, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Bottom line is he stuck with the $40 for us, but he tried to go up an extra 10 on it.
I can see it right here.
But anyway, so I'll let Ty continue there.
So as you know, he got the Killer Croc last time, the Rhino this time, and I sent y'all a picture where he's got all 3 of them on the bed. The Abomination is one of Hulk's villains.
But the best part of this picture is Jessica totally not.
Yeah, Jessica's watching
just
Survivor.
not giving 2 shits.
Yeah. She's like, why?
Enthused.
Yeah, she's probably like, why are you taking a photo of me in our bed with your son and these fucking action figures?
Camden fucking brought him in there for whatever reason. He's proud of him.
It's funny that you said that because today, watching the Saints game, a commercial for Survivor came on. My dad goes, "Who still watches this crap?"
Yeah, well,
Survivor, in my opinion, if y'all ever watched Naked and Afraid is light years better than Survivor.
Because they're naked. They're really naked.
really naked.
Nope.
They're like,
I just feel like it's
really
more of a genuine survival show than Survivor.
don't score.
What else did Camden get? He got the Sabretooth, he got the Rhino,
He got the Lego of
he got a Lego Colossus. One other thing he got. Can't think of what the hell it was.
Have y'all been?
the Brent Burns pop.
Yeah, Brent Burns Funko Pop.
Have y'all been to Second and Charles yet? Any of the locations?
No, that's the one you send us the pops.
Yeah.
From, yeah.
So there's one on the North Shore in Mandeville. There's one in BR, Lafayette. There might be 2 in BR, but I don't think there's one in New Orleans proper yet.
Yeah.
But I would definitely recommend y'all take a stop to one of their stores when you get the chance, and just to see the sheer amount of Funko Pops they have. And they have like other action figures as well. The selection is really good, especially for the Funko Pops. They have all kind of anime, and Disney and cartoon related ones like that. I think you would really enjoy. Like I said, I try to pop into one when I'm near one and send y'all pictures of like more of the sports ones, but other like pop culture or anime related figures that I think maybe that even if you don't like them, they just might find interesting because the detail is good on them.
Well, I know when you send us the pictures there, you kind of just keep going. I'm like, damn, this place has a lot.
I would say they've got like a 4-foot section. They've got probably 25 4-foot sections that are 5 shelves high, full of pop. So like they've got into the thousands.
Nice.
And a lot of repeats to a degree. Like a lot of the Simpsons ones that they carry are come on repeats. It's like maybe 2 or 3 of each one that they have. But there's so much, right? Like I wish I could take like a better picture or video for you. Like if you had Snapchat, I could just take a snap, like a panoramic snapshot of their selections. And they all differ by store because of the way they work. You can go in and trade in your pop or figure or whatever and get a credit towards another purchase, something like that. So a lot of them they have overstock of, and some they get trade in. So if you have figures that are in like box and you want to get rid of it, maybe you don't like it anymore, or maybe you're not interested, you can take it to them, trade it in, and towards another pop or another purchase like that. So they also do like vinyl records as well from like music. They do a ton of video games, like pre-owned used video games, but they're all kind of like they're quality checked to make sure they don't have scratches on them, so they still work. So like I've sent pictures like the video games like you can buy like old games from like NHL 97, 98, 2000s, a bunch of those, the old Madden. So if you're into video games, that'd definitely be a place to check out too. They have some clothing that kind of is like Hot Topic-esque that falls under the realm of like superheroes and action figures or anime and things like that. So
yeah,
definitely check it out if you get a chance. Like there's one in the North Shore I just realized, but yeah, BR has 2 and Lafayette has 1 as well.
What's it called?
Second and Charles.
Second and Charles. So it's kind of like Plan Talk. Plan Talk's in the Gulfport Outlet Mall.
Yeah.
Probably similar to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Before we finish up on this, I know Sean, you go to the big Wizard World or Fan Expo now that comes in January. The one thing I do like about the St. Tammany one a little bit better than the big one, not to say I like it better as a whole, but I find that the Fan Expo has gotten very art heavy to where like there's so many tables of art, which is not knocking art because I'll usually buy a piece of art when I'm there as well, but there's a lot less art at the St. Tammany Collectors Con and more so figurines, and that's what I like about that. There's a lot of the vendors that they're pretty much a lot of local ones, so you might not see them at the big one, but a lot more figurine based at the St. Tammany Collectors Convention. So if you all haven't gone and you're a collector of toys and whatnot, then I would give it a shot.
And not toys, Travis.
They're action figures. All right, so moving on from the St. Tammany Comic-Con, Patrick, I believe you wanted to talk a little bit or boast a little bit about Florida's victory over LSU on Saturday.
I showed up for this.
First of all, hi Biff. How are you?
I'm good.
We haven't seen you in a while.
I know, I snuck in.
So we didn't announce it in when he walked in. Now that we have a breaking point, we will announce that Biff has joined us. So we do have a 5-man crew now instead of 4.
I'm not going to say a whole lot about the Florida LSU game because honestly, I didn't expect Florida to win this game. Even though LSU has not looked great this season, Florida has looked equally abysmal, and they have a freshman quarterback who's only starting, I think, his 4th game. So wasn't expecting a lot of it. I knew the defenses were kind of not great. The offenses were also bad, but I'm not 100% shocked by the result, but I was a bit surprised.
I'm not shocked by it either. LSU has been Brian Kelly. I personally am ready for him to go. I think he's overpaid and not worth the money.
Yeah,
and never has been. I mean, I know his first year he beat Bama, so everyone's like, "Oh, he's worth it." Yeah.
I mean, like 0-3 in the openers. It's just it stings.
Yeah.
Every time I see UFC on TV, and like yesterday they beat Nebraska to improve to 5-5.
Right.
It's
right.
like we lost to this team. What the? Fuck?
Yeah. Right. I mean, like it's just and then just inconsistency. I know there was a lot of injuries and things this year, But I mean, like LSU's still stacked with talent, and there's no excuse for this level of play by them.
Supposedly we have some good commits and, a class coming up or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. I'm just not a fan of Brian Kelly. Neither is my dad.
He did clinch with that loss that he won't have a 10-win season. He had like some crazy streak of 10-win seasons going back to Notre Dame, and he won't. He's guaranteed to not have a 10-win. Yeah, with 4 losses.
But I wasn't surprised. Like LSU's defense has been suspect all year, and then they gave it up. I watched it till once Florida scored that go-ahead touchdown at the end. I turned it off. I was like, this is just.
I think it was LSU was already down by like 9 or 10 or something.
They're down by a touchdown. I think.
And I think it was a 2-score game, and then they said it was only Kyron Lacey's like second target of the game. It's like, throw it to your freaking stud receiver. Right. What the hell is wrong with y'all?
And Nussmeier is not the best quarterback. I don't understand why they keep saying how great he is. I'm like, have you watched? Like, why are they leaning so heavy on it? And they were running so well, like most of the game, and then they just they're passing on second and I don't know. I mean, like second and short. I don't know. Like they're just they keep going to Nussmeier to not make mistakes, and he makes constant mistakes. So it's
yeah, my fear was the LSU running game just gashing LSU because I forget the running back's name, but I think he was averaging 5.7.
Right.
So
and they went away from it.
Yeah.
Like I just say that's a coaching error, But no, I watched most of it, and then once they went ahead, I didn't. I somebody told me that LSU lost, so I was just watching it anyway. I was watching it delayed.
Frank Kelly just looks like he puts too much on the players. Like he just looks like he's so
he's cussing them out.
He's always so dejected. Like I don't know what to do with these guys. Like he's done everything he can possibly do.
It's not me.
It's definitely not his fault. It's like come on.
Right. But.
I mean, we saw that with the Saints. A coaching change definitely does a lot for a team.
What do you think, Patrick, as far as the coach at Florida? I thought they were going to replace him. Now they're keeping him.
They came out a couple of weeks ago and said that they're going to retain Napier, and I can understand why they would do that or say that because when they got to the back half of this schedule, it's brutal. Texas, Georgia, obviously not in order I say it, but Texas, Georgia, LSU. They have to play Florida State, which is not a great opponent right now. They're terrible, but no coach. I think that we still have to play Ole Miss, I believe.
Yeah.
So there's no coach who's really going to come in and fix or win any of those games with the talent that team has, especially with a freshman quarterback. When your starter, who wasn't great to start with, went out with a season-ending injury.
Well, honestly, I was watching the Florida Georgia game, and they were they hung around. They hung around until the quarterback went out.
Yeah.
And they were their defense was playing well, and I was really surprised that I think Carson Beck for Georgia. I mean, I'm kind of branching into college football stuff, but I don't think he's that. I think he's overrated. He makes a lot of mistakes.
Who won this game? It was Georgia again.
Georgia beat Florida, but they beat Tennessee.
They did beat Tennessee.
But Tennessee is to me the most inflated number 7 or whatever the hell they are.
Tennessee's fine. Their quarterback being a freshman also makes a lot of freshman mistakes, and that's understandable. Yeah. You can see the flashes of talent in him, just like Florida can see the flashes of talent with Lagway. Yeah. Just like to a smaller degree, you can see Nussmeier can make some really good throws. So he gives you that hope.
He does. Because
you see the potential that he has, but then you see the bad decisions that pop up every now and then.
Also, them leaning so heavily on him adds that having him throw 58 of 60.
He does not and should not be throwing that much.
Not with the run game that they have.
Rarely do you see top quarterbacks in the league throwing in college throwing that much. Quinn Ewers doesn't normally throw that many passes per game. They have a more balanced running game, passing game situation. So they put a lot on Nussmeier's plate, and he's not great enough to make all those plays and overcome some other issues.
Yeah.
And like Beck, he will put his team in bad spots. Like Beck throwing 3 or 4 interceptions the game before that they lost to who they lose to.
I forgot they lost to not Alabama.
But
who was it? Was it last week they lost?
Yeah.
Who did they lose to?
Shit, I can't. But either way, he threw a lot of interceptions and had a lot of bad plays. But I mean, I think with if you're LSU, you're looking every week and every loss, it feels like the pressure on Kelly grows more and more. The question is, and it's same thing kind of with Florida, you can fire the coach, but who are you going to get to replace him?
Right. That's
been the hardest thing for a lot of these schools is who is a better coach that's available that you can get to do this. Plus, you got to pay whatever the buyout is for your coach. And a lot of times that's north of $20-30 million to get this coach out of there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what LSU is going to do because I don't know how LSU has the money somewhere to buy out Kelly.
Yeah.
It's still but it's a massive amount. And also you have to find a coach to replace him. Yeah. That's going to be the question is who are you going to get?
I don't know who you're going to get. It's got to be
This is only, he signed like a 10-year deal or something. This
I don't know,
year 3.
some stupid deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think after next year, if they go through next year with the same sort of disappointing losses while also not beating a big rival like Bama or something like that, or losing to a really kind of inept Florida team, they're going to really, really have to try to figure out, find a way to get out of this contract or get rid of him. Because I'm telling you right now, he's not going to win a national championship at LSU.
Yeah.
And if his contract is 10 years, you are not going to win a national championship with him.
Right.
No. Yeah. So what are y'all's projections on that? Do y'all think he's all coming back next year, or you think he's?
I think he's coming back.
I think he's coming back.
Unfortunately,
And then unfortunately, if the season ends badly, if they keep losing, probably not. But
he'll make it through this year.
I think
he'll probably get through next year, just because I don't know how they're going to allocate the money and then find a new coach.
Right.
To replace
him. A lot can happen in the off season. I don't want to you wake up to a BuzzFeed article, But I mean, like Brian Kelly out or whatever, But I mean, you don't know. I don't know if they keep losing. LSU is very hasty.
That's true.
With losing coaches.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they did that with Ogeron. Where Ogeron had other off-field stuff.
Honestly, I thought they can coach over pretty quick.
Well, they did, but he was also bringing his girlfriends to practice.
Yeah, he was doing some wild.
They were like 20 or whatever. He did some wild stuff.
The good coaches are locked up at their universities right now.
Right.
Unless you go get a coach that's doing well from a smaller program and bring them up, it's not feasible. But you'd maybe consider going and getting Tulane's coach.
Yeah.
But I think he just signed a deal not long ago. And he's only his second year.
First year.
Yeah, first year. It's he's not going to break out of that contract. Yeah. You think after 1 or 2 years. Now, money is a powerful thing, and they might throw the blank check at him. Hey, name your price and we'll pay it. And that might be hard to turn down. But they're gonna have to spend a lot of money to get a coach from that's doing well at maybe a smaller school to leave. And it's not like there are other coaches in, say, the SEC or other big programs that are going to leave their program to go to LSU. That's a lateral move at best.
And Tulane, they were ranked 25 and they won. LSU was ranked 22 and lost. They're not ranked team.
Tulane is now, I think, 22.
Yeah, so they jumped LSU.
Tulane's 20 now. LSU's out of the top 20.
Definitely out of the
LSU's
top
not even
25.
ranked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tulane's going to the AAC championship for the 3rd year in a row.
Yes.
Yeah,
they're going to play Army.
They're going to play Army. That's going to be a good game, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
Army's been beating people, but not anybody really.
Roll Wave.
Yeah, they've been killing people.
Not Roll Tide.
Well,
who's the Florida coach?
Billy Napier.
I was going to say, you got Booger McFarland was all hugging his nutsack today after that win. And Booger McFarland, Mr. LSU himself, he was like, see, I told you guys, give this guy time. He's going to come around.
Here's what I'll say about Napier. He is a great human being he's actually a good coach. I wouldn't say he's the best motivator of men and the best tactician. He can recruit. He did lose a lot of recruits because of how the seasons have been going, but he also did not have a quarterback, and that's the number one thing. It's just like in the NFL, if you don't have a quarterback, you are going to be severely hamstrung, and he has not done well with getting and developing a quarterback. Now, Lagway is highly touted as a freshman. He was I think a top 5 college quarterback recruit coming into this year. So he did do that well. But he's a kid. He's got to learn how to play and get better.
Right.
Napier's problem is that the team is so undisciplined, and there's sometimes no accountability. So they make a lot of really bad mistakes and errors, and like the penalties is like a huge thing.
Yeah. Well, they made a lot of.
Yeah, and the team has talent. They're not the most talented, but they do have talent.
Yeah.
The problem is the penalties and the undisciplined play and the quarterback. If your starting quarterback is the grad transfer from Wisconsin, he's not like a world beater. He's probably good, but he may not be good enough to get you over having to play Texas, Georgia, LSU, Bama,
Sack lunch.
Tennessee, and schools like that. But Napier did show some really good promise and progress in the games that they have won.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they said we're gonna keep him for another year, because we're doing better than we thought we were gonna do, and we knew it was gonna be a bad year.
Right.
I still kind of don't want him there.
Yeah.
But also I don't know who they're gonna get to replace him.
Yeah, that's the big question: is who you replace these guys with?
Yeah, like they want to fire Dabo. They want to fire Dabo at Clemson because of how they started the year,
Right,
and now they're
Look at what he's doing.
Yeah, now they're 8-2.
Right.
He has his faults, yes, but again,
I mean, he lost to Georgia,
right?
And then who else did they lose to?
Miami.
Yeah, but look at those teams. Like those are top 10 teams. Like,
but again, if you fire Dabo,
like
who
are you going to get?
Who you going to get?
Nearly as good as him,
right?
Like, unless it's like some NFL coach,
right? And at least in the NFL, you can look at. In the NFL, you can look at.
Les Miles is still available.
Some coordinators for like the Detroit Lions OC. He's going to be a coach next. He should have been a coach this year, but he wanted to stay and come back and finish some business.
My dad thinks he's going to be the Saints next coach.
He would be my top choice. Ben Johnson.
Yes.
Defensive coordinator.
Can we get Aaron Glenn back?
my thing with Ben Johnson, and I brought this up before. I don't know if it was via text or on our last pod. Is he hasn't been a head coach before, so would he be willing to start out with the Saints, who are next year going to probably cut loose a lot of it? And that'll be our next talking point here.
Okay.
But if the Saints do continue to struggle, despite these last 2 wins, and they decide to clean house, outside of obviously Kamara because they just signed him to an extension. But let's say they get rid of Derek Carr and Cam Jordan's gone and Demario Davis is gone and all of our veterans are gone.
The first 2 you listed are definitely expendable.
No, yeah, well, but I'm just saying we're going to be starting from scratch pretty much. And
I think Derek Carr is honestly. I mean, who else are we going to get though?
Yeah.
You're probably drafting a guy.
And then if we keep winning, we're not going to get a high draft pick like quarterback.
I don't want Shedeur Sanders, but maybe Cam Ward will probably go on.
Not Shedeur Sanders.
You want Cam Ward?
I know Biff was knocking him, but I know who's number 3? Carson Beck.
Oh, Carson Beck.
Carson
I don't want Carson Beck.
Beck's probably number 3.
Carson Beck might not even come out in this year because of that. But
I'll say I've watched most every Miami game, and they're 9-1. They should probably have 3 to 4 losses on their record, because for as good and as cool and calm as Cam Ward is, he makes some inexcusable throws. Like he will throw across his body, across the field, once or twice a game, and it bites him in the ass. They have a good enough team to overcome some of that, but the game they lost was because of mistakes and errors, and he's a high ceiling, but the floor is not so great with him sometimes.
So would you rather him or Shedeur Sanders?
Shedeur Sanders doesn't seem to have pocket awareness to me. He doesn't see the wall coming in around him.
Aside from that,
Colorado,
his leadership I think sucks. He's willing. He's already showed you he's willing to throw his offensive line under the bus.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then you got to bring all that baggage he has with him.
With his dad.
Dion comes with him.
Dion
so
comes with him with all the.
With his dad as his college coach, he's not going to, he's going to be listening to dad over whatever coaching staff he goes to.
I agree. I don't disagree with you at all. I think the talent standpoint, he might be a slight step above Cam Ward. I see less reckless play from a passing standpoint in Shedeur Sanders. I'm not sold on him as being the number 1 pick, but every analyst that I listen to and trust their research on says he will be the number one quarterback coming out, and I get it. I can see the appeal to him. I think he's got his faults, yes, and it can be high risk reward. But Cam Ward looks like he looks for the home run every time, and that it's not like kind of like Caleb Williams. He looks for a home run play.
Let's not forget Caleb Williams was the first quarterback taken this year, was he not?
No way, that's
He was.
He was first overall, in front of Jaden Daniels.
He wasn't down.
He's trash.
Whatever.
What do y'all?
Playing from behind.
What do you think
He's
about?
not good.
What do you think about Quinn Ewers?
Good. The health is the only thing I think that's a real issue. He needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
He's had a couple knocks the last few years. I see the NFL throws. I see the talent. I see the processing.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good. He's got it. But again, got to go to the right system.
I worry a little bit about his height. Like he looks like a guy that would probably have a lot of balls batted down at the line. Like
But you're a
I do-
Baker guy. I mean,
Kyler Murray doesn't really. Kyler Murray had that problem maybe early in his career, and he seemed to have gotten around that, and they built and situated the team around that. Baker was the same thing, short guy, but he seems to flourish once he gets the right coordinator and offensive system to not have that be a real big problem.
Baker also pops Zins on the sideline. So
Well,
he's a real
he's a
champ. He's a real champ.
Russell Wilson,
Yeah,
too.
so
We were talking about Russell Wilson's moon ball.
I mean, yeah, Russ is also short, but now granted, all those quarterbacks will get out of the pocket to get a cleaner look at the field. So it's going to come down to whatever coach and OC scheming that for them. I don't know what the Saints are going to do
You looking for some Jaeger?
with after Carr, because I don't know how good of an answer, quote unquote, Rattler is.
Yeah.
He's going to be probably the Baker mold.
Yeah, it's
In
a
the-
twist off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I know we've only had a short sample, but I'm starting to think that Rattler might not be the guy.
I don't think they drafted him because thinking that he would be. I thought he was like, this is a player that we can use to fill in, and maybe he plays well enough to keep us in some games until we figure out the situation. I just don't know where the Saints would going to go quarterback, because the prospects that are coming into the draft, not bad. I don't think there's a can't miss prospect like, say, Caleb and Jaden Daniels and like Andrew Luck were, or Herbert, but we don't have like complete duds.
They thought he was.
Yeah, back on the Ben Johnson thing real quick though, but like I think he would probably be at the top of everybody's board as far as Saints coach. The thing with him is I could see it going either way. I could see him being excited by the idea of being able to come in and say, all right, I got this fresh young team that I get to kind of build on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Or the opposite side of that is he could look at that and say, okay, I'm going into a situation where I don't have a lot of talent right now, so I don't want to lose my job very quickly, But at the same time, like, it could be the opposite way where he recognizes that, he's excited by it, as long as ownership and upper management basically says that, okay, we're giving you a long leash with this. We understand you might not be the best right away, but as long as you, are showing that you show improvement over the year, maybe it'll work. But so I can see it going either way with that. But he's definitely at the top of my choice as far as who I'd want the Saints to hire the long term.
I think the only problem with Ben Johnson is he's going to have more attractive offers and situations to go to. Could he be in play for the Jets job? That team already has talent.
Yeah.
They have to figure out what to do with the quarterback.
Yeah. I think it's.
But
I think Aaron Rodgers is showing that he's done.
Yeah.
With another loss today. So.
But they at least have they have a running back. They have Devontae Adams for 2 more years. They have Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and a couple other decent offensive players. I don't think Jacksonville is high on anybody's list. A name that got thrown out, and I'm curious to see where he goes, is Vrabel.
Yeah.
I would be very much open to Vrabel come in, and if we can keep Kubiak as the OC and bring Vrabel in as a coach, I think that would.
Shoot, I would even take Vrabel as a DC.
I think he's too good to be somebody's DC. He seems to be head coach worthy. He had no quarterback, so his time in Tennessee for the last few years was really.
But Will Levis eats mayonnaise, so I mean.
I get mayonnaise too, but
So, spinning off of it, Todd and I were actually having this discussion earlier at my mom's house while we were watching the Saints game. What happens if, and then this is a big if, what happens if Rizzy ends up and the Saints just go on this long tear winning streak to close out the season, win their division, make the playoffs? I know it's a very long shot, but if that happens, does Rizzy get locked up as the head coach?
I think he does. I mean, it looks like just from the past few games alone that the players are actually playing for him.
I think they love him. I think.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but and I don't quite get it because I've made this argument before. When Sean Payton was there, Dennis Allen was the defensive coordinator, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Our defense was great. The players were playing for him. So what the fuck changed when he became head coach? I don't understand it. Like, he obviously had the defensive players' best interest in mind when he was the defensive coordinator. So what the hell happened when he became head coach?
He got more responsibility, and he didn't have as much time to spend with the defense because he had to go coach everyone now. And granted, yes, you delegate your responsibilities to your OC, your DC, and special teams coach, but he couldn't be, and that's with any coach that becomes a head coach. You don't get to spend as much time with your old job in your old position, so that might suffer a little bit. And honestly, maybe they realize, maybe the players overall realize, hey, he's not head coach material. He's only good enough to be the DC. We don't like him as a coach. He makes bad decisions.
Yeah,
He's inept. He's over his.
He definitely didn't seem like a motivator. He definitely didn't seem like he had clock management.
Mm-hmm. No.
It just seems like the players. I guess the point I'm trying to make is it seems like the players are playing right now for Rizzy, and they just weren't playing for Allen.
It's definitely true.
Yeah, I think they got tired of him. I mean, look at Spagnuolo for the Chiefs. He's a phenomenal defensive coach. As a head coach, wasn't that great. And that could be because of his roster, maybe, but it just didn't work out for him as a head coach.
He was a pretty ass defensive coordinator for us, if you guys remember.
Yeah,
he was horrible.
But look at him in KC. He found he's got the right system. He's got some good players. He schemes very well. I mean, people evolve. I mean, he learned from his mistakes as a previous DC and as a head coach, and maybe he's just better at what he does now. Listen. The sample is too short to say what Rizzy is or can be as a coach. The players love him from everything I hear, so they want to play for him, and that's a huge thing. That's probably number one.
Yeah.
You can hire coordinators and coaches to help you with the scheming and the clock management and some of the other shit. You still need to know it, but you can get people to assist you with that. I think ultimately, number one, you have to have the faith and the trust in the locker room for people who want to play for you. You might not have talent, but they play hard. That means something.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm just worried.
I like the guy, so I mean, if we end up miraculously winning out, making the playoffs, I'd love to see him keep the guy. But
I mean, the track record is, interim coaches don't typically end up as the head coach. I mean, it just happened at Antonio Pierce with the Raiders, and look how good they are this year.
Yeah,
it's tough.
But again, the Raiders do not have a quarterback, so no matter who the coach is, that quarterback room is not going to win you a lot of games.
And it's funny that it happened also with the Raiders with Gruden and Bisaccia, whatever, and he led them to the playoffs, and then they just screw him. It's like, nope, they didn't even consider him as head coach.
But yeah, my only fear is, let's say we make a decent enough run, or let's say we don't make the playoffs, but we play inspired and cohesive and like with a sense of purpose and care, and they decide, oh, we're going to make him the head coach. We're going to sign him to a 4-year contract. What's going to happen after year 2 when we have mediocre quarterback play? One of our receivers, or our star receiver, is injured for 3 or 4 games. Maybe we don't have Kamara anymore because his contract's over, or whatever the case may be, or maybe just age or whatever. After year 2, are we going to be looking to replace him? Because maybe it wasn't a smart thing to take the special teams coach who has no prior coaching experience and make him the head coach, and we're almost in the same spot that we are now, except for maybe the players actually do like the coach.
Yeah.
how many games is he going to be out-coached and out-schemed in where we're losing that game just by pure coaching, not so much talent and
I
whatever.
think that's where your coordinators come in. I feel like scheming and stuff is more. It depends on the team, obviously, because Sean Payton was definitely integral in the offense. But like, if he has good coordinators around him and he inspires the players, like, I'm fine with him being head coach.
For sure.
But like, that's the trick.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like, when it goes wrong.
Right.
Like, we're all on a high right now. We beat lowly Cleveland, and we
Jameis led Cleveland.
Yeah, and we gamed up for our hated rival in the Falcons at home. That's a game with the new coach Juice plus the Falcons at home after losing to them. That was like a perfect storm for a game that we were going to win. What happens if we play let's say we play the Eagles in 2 weeks? Are we going to win that game? And what happens when it goes bad is my concern.
Yeah. After the bye, who do we have right after the bye?
The Rams.
The Rams. The Rams are going to be tough. We still got the Commanders.
The Rams are beatable.
We got Green Bay.
A lot of teams are beatable. I agree. The Rams.
Well,
the Rams are peaking at the right time.
Any given week.
But
the Panthers are beatable. But who do we?
Exactly.
There's no gimmies in this.
We still have the same quarterback that we lost to the Panthers with. We still have the same old line.
We already played the Panthers twice, right?
Right.
We annihilated them week 1 and
Lost to
them.
That's what we're saying. Is that you can lose to any team. Watch, we could come out and beat the Packers and then lose to the Commanders the next week and then or whatever it is. Have no telling. We still got to play the Bucs again. It's amazing to think we have the same record or same wins. We both have 4 wins. The Bucs are on a bye this week. We're on a bye next week. But I could see the Bucs putting 50 points on us again.
If they got, even if they don't have Evans and Godwin, they'll still put up.
Evans is supposed to be back this week after the bye.
Yeah. So our remaining games are home against the Rams, at the Giants, home to the Commanders, at Lambeau, home to the Raiders, home to the Bucs, away at Tampa Bay.
So the only ones I'll pencil in as a win are the Giants and the Raiders.
Yeah.
So Giants and Raiders at 6 wins, and then say we steal another one, so then we'll get 7 wins.
Yeah, that's not really playoff.
Because that's at the Packers, at the Bucs, and then what else? Oh, the Commanders are here.
Commanders are tough. Man.
So we potentially could go. We could potentially go 2-4 in our remaining 6 games.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to feel about that team because we're gonna have the same team next season.
The only thing I can say about the Rams is thankfully it's here, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's home, and then we have a bye week to get healthy. I'm surprised McCoy came back today a week early. I thought they would leave him out due to bye week.
Didn't he leave the game again?
That's what I'm saying. He got hurt again. They should have left him out due to bye week. But
and remember, we had the fucking Broncos at home on a Thursday night, retiring Drew. Well, putting Drew in the Hall of Fame and Peyton coming back, and we fucking laid a dud on every phase of the game.
Well, this game
against rookie Bo Nix. So
put up 36 points today.
Yeah. So the Rams,
the rookie of the year,
the Rams coming to us is going to be. I don't have any faith in that game.
Hey, the way that Jaden Daniels played Thursday and then Bo Nix today with 4 touchdowns, that I could see that changing.
There's no shot that's going to change. Jaden Daniels is already locked up Rookie of the Year, and no shot. I will bet whatever amount of money you want to bet. If he'll come back, I will bet you that Bo Nix is not winning.
This is going to be included in the UNO bet?
No, it's just we can.
Tristan Moore hitter of the year.
We can bet your children's.
I'm pretty confident Tristan Moore is going to win the Southland hitter of the year.
Okay, fine. Be confident and bet me your children's tuition. A yearly tuition. Oh, all right. Goddamn public school trash.
And shout out to my daughter who's running for the state cross country meet out in Natchitoches.
Not
tomorrow.
Nachitoches.
What, on Monday?
Yeah, this cross country is not as important as all those other sports.
They can't open up a park.
I'm proud of you, Grayson.
Todd, I'll bet you 5% of your yearly salary that Bo Nix is not winning Rookie of the Year.
Let me open up FanDuel real quick.
Yeah, go give me the plus odds on that.
Todd's $10 bet.
Click on the Commanders. Let me see who do the Commanders have left.
Oh man, somebody filibuster.
Todd's $10 bet would win him $400.
Is it no? But it's not really a $10 bet. Though. That's how much a shot is.
No, wait, they already played the Steelers. Who do the Commanders have left? I'm just trying to think. I want to see how they finish, not necessarily if he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
I'm not confident that UNO is going to win the Southland, but the more hitter of the year. He's done it before. He can do it again.
What the hell is a UNO?
the team that lost in basketball.
The commies
never heard of.
They have the Cowboys, Titans, the Saints, Eagles, Falcons, and Cowboys again.
Win. Loss. Win. So I'll give the commies a loss to the Eagles.
I'll give them 4-2. Let's say they slip up against the Falcons, because the Falcons will be playing desperate.
They're probably going to lose. They're going to beat Dallas both times.
They should beat Dallas twice.
4 of their last 6 are home games. That's crazy.
Yeah. But either way, I don't care what he does the rest of these last 6 games. What he's done so far has won him Rookie of the Year. Todd, a kid. I'll bet you.
I mean, he's no Caleb Williams.
I'll bet you any amount.
that dude's not even anywhere near the picture.
I'll bet you any dollar amount up to 5% of your yearly salary that Daniels is going to win the Rookie of the Year.
Your annual cost of living increase,
excluding your side does not including that.
I can't even bet on that, though, because I don't know how well Bo Nix will play for the rest of the year. So.
I don't care how well he plays.
Well, let me put it this way. He's on our fantasy team now, so he's going to play like shit and get hurt. So that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you got the Hitchens curse, so, I mean, I don't know. But, back on the topic here, it's a long shot, but if the Saints do win out...
Bo Nix has the Raiders, the Browns, the Colts, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs.
Some shitty teams in there.
I'm going to 3-3, maybe 4-2 on that one as well.
So I'll come to you again. Would you like to put some money on who's going to win?
Calculate with 5% of my salary.
Better make it 10.
Better make it 10.
Speaking
I don't want to embarrass myself.
Which this is a fine time to put it out there that the vote for the millage is in December. So
teachers.
This is going to be like a Mike PSA here. But I am not going to champion for raising teacher salary to get Todd more money. So I can take Todd more money. Yeah, get Todd more money so I can take more of his money.
The firefighters and cops and EMTs, they're all hard workers, but so are teachers. Go get out and vote. December 7th.
And liquor salesman.
You have a chance to get Todd and I a nice raise. Let's go out and vote.
That Patrick can then take.
That's right. Patrick's 5% increase
in a sucker bet.
Patrick was voting yes because he'll win more in this bet.
Biff's dad was a teacher. He's collecting 6 figures now.
He's collecting his retirement. My dad's like, does that go for retired teachers? He saw it on the news. Does that go for retired teachers too?
No, Bob, it doesn't. So get out, help some brothers out over here, and vote for that millage. I know everybody looks at that and says it's going to raise my property tax, but in the grand scheme of things, is it really going to raise it that much just to help out your teachers?
Yes, help a brother out. I want more of Todd's money.
I got the letter yesterday, Joe Lapinto. It's almost $2,000. Come on, for property tax.
But finishing up here again, before we move on, it's a long shot that Saints went out, and just the idea of speculation on if they would retain Rizzy if they did. And I think it will. The only time will tell, but it's a long shot to see that anyway. I think the next segment we can go ahead and jump into some gear grinders. I know I got a gear grinder that I'll go ahead and start with. If y'all want to, you can follow up. And now it's time for another segment of What Grinds Todd's Gears. All right, so y'all may experience this, and this happens almost on a daily basis at work. And I don't know if you guys are victims, and if you are, if you guys are the culprits too.
Some happens at work. Sounds like a familiar topic.
If you guys are the culprits, then y'all can fuck off. But it seems like every day when I go in the faculty break room to heat my lunch, there's always time left on the microwave. To the point where I put my lunch in the microwave and go to type in the numbers and nothing's happening because you got to hit clear first before you actually type your time in. Now, I'm always considerate to where if I pull my lunch out 10 or 15 seconds early, I'll hit clear after. Now, tell me y'all's thoughts on this. Are you guys the culprits? Or you guys?
I'll speak first.
I'm just going to say my OCD asks when I walk by the 2 microwaves in our kitchen and I see time on them, I clear them. Even though I'm not
Well, that's very nice of you.
I walk by and I'm like,
I appreciate that, Sean.
I'm OCD about that. I want to see the time on the damn microwave. I don't want to see 3 seconds left.
I don't go in the faculty lounge anymore because one of my counselor colleagues has a microwave in her office, so I don't have to really deal with that.
Does your counselor colleague leave time on the microwave?
No, but at home, my fucking kids do. So, I mean, just the same.
I love this as a gear grinder. My roommate does this all the time, and it absolutely fries my fucking brain.
How much time though? Is it like 3 seconds or is it like a minute and a half?
It could be either one. I just know, like, I'll go in the kitchen, not even to like put something in the microwave. I'll just go to the fridge and I'll look to the left and see the microwave, and there's like 10 seconds, and I'm like, beep.
It's not 10 p.m. No.
It's just clear out. It's not that hard.
Look, I'm going to be honest, and this can tie into the gear grind because it's on the same token as the people who hog the microwave by putting something in the microwave for like 10 minutes. And I'm sitting there like, what are you doing? Are you eating like a block of fucking ice? Like, why do you need 10 minutes to heat your food? And then I would bet any money that it's those same type of people who will say, you know what, I put 10 minutes on there, but I don't really need 10. And they'll just leave like 3 minutes on the timer for the next person to clear for them. So yeah, that's and it happens to me almost daily. I would say at least 3 days out of 5 a week that I have to go in there and clear the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's more when I walk in there and there's a microwave going and there's no human in there. It's like they set their food and they walk off, and it's like, I'll come get that later.
My old job did that. My new job has a microwave, but not too many people eat at work because it's music school and most people are in and out.
Yeah.
And speaking about what you're talking about, Sean, I try to be respectful of people's property and space, but if you leave your food in the microwave and the microwave is going off, and it's been like 30, 40 seconds or a minute, and I'm waiting, I'm taking your food.
And it's beeping every 5 seconds to let people know it's done.
Not even that. Shit. I want to warm up my food next.
Right.
I will take your fucking food out of the microwave and sit on the side and throw my shit in.
I totally have done that before.
Fuck you.
Ain't gotten
get your attend to your shit and then get it out of the microwave. Yeah. Other people are trying to do the same thing you're doing.
I've done that before.
Well, yeah, because
I'll do it every time. I don't care.
I've taken it out, I put it on top of the microwave and heat my own lunch.
Yeah, we had sanctioned, like, everybody had to take their lunch at 12 for a while, from 12 to 1 at my agency, and so we had 2 microwaves, and it was like a line.
Yeah.
And some people would literally do that shit. They would, like, put it in for 5 minutes, then go to the bathroom, and then like take forever. So I just take it out, put it on the side. She's like, "Excuse me, you took my lunch?" I was like, "Yeah, I did, because you weren't in here."
Excuse me, sir, you put your fingers all over my lunch?
Damn right,
I ate some of your shrimp, too.
Did they say that? Did they say that through a mask?
I can say at my office is right across, like an office down and across the hall from the kitchen. And so sometimes I will hear a beep coming from across the hall every so many seconds, and I'll go in there, and it's somebody whose food is done. And they haven't picked it up, and it's beeping every 5 seconds. I'm like, what the hell? Come get your food.
Yeah.
I have seen, like, in my old job, I worked in a cubicle, so we had like communal kitchen for everyone. My current job, we have microwaves in the kitchen, but I don't really go to the office often enough and need the microwave. But the old job, yeah, we would see it all the time. People would just leave their fucking food in the microwave. It's done. And I'm like, no, fuck you. Get your shit out of there. Like, to the point, like, HR sent an email out one day, like, hey, please be mindful of your food and, like, other people wanting to eat as well and needing to use a microwave, because these jackasses would just leave their food for like 3, 4, 5 minutes just chilling because they're on I got a phone call. That's not relevant. Like, get your shit out of that. If you go in the kitchen, either stay with it or come back in a relative manner. You know how much time you put on it. Don't go fucking back to your office and take a phone call at your desk or go outside for a smoke break and leave your food unattended. You're lucky your shit doesn't get tossed because I don't want to fucking get an HR violation. But I am taking your shit out of the microwave. Fuck you.
I can piggyback on that because they just did Thursday. They sent out a blast. They already sent out an email saying that if your food, if anything in there is not labeled with an initials on it, with the initials and date, we're throwing it out. Mm-hmm. And there was stuff in there. They were throwing out glass containers. They were throwing out stuff that looked like people would care about it. Mm-hmm. But you could tell the stuff's been in there for weeks.
Hey, man, they give you a week. If it's a Friday and by Monday morning,
Fridays they do it.
Yeah, your stuff's still in there. Gone. Sorry. Take it with you.
It was Friday afternoon. It's like, if it's yours, take it out because we're cleaning the freezer.
Since I'm so close to the kitchen, I was in there messing with a couple of HR girls that were in there throwing stuff out, and it was like there was bomb pops in the freezer from like 4th of July. You know, the red, white, and blue. Right. And then the best part, we look at the bottom and it says Best Buy 9/something/9/24/24. It was like, these are from 2 4th of Julys ago. These things are already expired and they still sit in the freezer. It's like, what the hell?
Expired freezer pops is pretty bad.
Expired bomb pops. Like, what the hell was that doing in there? And I refuse to eat ice out of like the ice dispenser out of there because the ice always smells. It tastes like onion.
All right. So look, if you are a person who leaves time on the microwave or leaves your food in the microwave too long after that's already beeped, shame on you. The wasted wagons are not fans of you.
One last thing about fridges at offices. We seem to have a pandemic, I hate to say, bringing that word up, that of how many people put food in the fridge, but it's in a cooler. Like in a Yeti cooler or in a zip-up thing. And it's like, I open the fridge in the morning, and it's like, it's all zip-up coolers. What do you bring these for if you're going to put it in the fridge?
That used to aggravate me, particularly at my old school, that because people used to stuff these big-ass lunch kits in the fridge, and there was no room to put your lunch. So then, like, I had to buy, a couple of times I had to go to people's mini fridge in my department and say, hey, can I put my lunch in here? They got like 30 fucking lunch boxes in there that are taking up room.
There's one particular one, it's a Yeti. Yetis are supposed to make your food stay cold for like a damn year, right? And it's it's like, it folds at the top. It's like, every time I see it, I'm just like, it takes up like a whole shelf. What the hell?
I don't realize.
I'm going to buy a Yeti ice chest and I'm going to store it in my walk-in freezer.
It's not really a gear grinder, but it's kind of adjacent to what we've been talking about, and like it's a fine line because some people cook certain things or eat certain things, and like for people who bring smelly food to work, but it's kind of hit or miss. But like if you're bringing fish and like Brussels sprouts or just like seafood, any fish or something like that, like hey,
salmon, John.
Could you kind of be a bit more cognizant of like the smell that's coming out of it and other people around? Like, don't bring fucking codfish or whatever. It's fucking disgusting. But it's hard to regulate because you don't know what something's going to smell like. I don't know. Like, I like Brussels sprouts. You want to eat healthy? Cool. I have no problem with that. Maybe your Brussels sprouts kind of stink. Just think about your other coworkers before you bring your fucking 4-course meal over.
It seems like the only popcorn people can eat is burnt popcorn because that's all you smell.
Yeah,
right. Burnt popcorn up and down the hallway.
People learn how to fucking make popcorn, for God's sakes. Don't put it on for 7 minutes.
On the highest heats, on the highest power setting. Yeah.
Never wait for the beep. The people that wait, like, let the 3 minutes elapse or whatever. It's like you're supposed to wait for the popping to stop and you pull it out. And then you leave the time on the microwave when you want to.
Yeah. But Travis, that's an excellent gear grinder. That is something that I had not thought about in a while. But yes, that is 100% a thing.
Yeah. Turned this into a lunchroom/break room gear grinder session. So, moving on to more happy notes, but still on the topic of food here. What's everybody's Thanksgiving plans? Thanksgiving's creeping up on us. It'll be here. We got one more week, and then guys in education, again, get out and vote for that December millage. But we have a week off of school after this week. What are y'all's plans for the Thanksgiving holidays?
I'll go first because mine will be kind of quick. You already kind of know I'm going to Houston for Thanksgiving. I'm leaving either Tuesday or Wednesday. Heading up with my mom to my sisters in Houston. It's going to be traditional. We have gumbo, we have turkey. I'll do a prime rib with all the sides and the fixings. And then the day after, I'm going to hit the breweries up. text you guys about what we can bring back for you. And
Dot matrix equal parts.
And that's about it. So it'll be the standard traditional Thanksgiving for me. Nothing. We pretty much always do the same thing. So yeah.
So which day you heading out?
I haven't decided. If I at the earliest Tuesday evening, afternoon.
Okay.
If not, early, like pre 6 a.m. Wednesday morning.
Are you taking any additional time off of work, or are you going to go to work Monday and Tuesday?
I'm going to work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning. Luckily, the Total Wine stores are right off the interstate for me, so I can stop at Metairie, Baton Rouge, and probably Lafayette on the way out. So I'll be working still. And then, we're off Thursday. I'll take Friday off, quote unquote. Monday coming back, I'm going to stop at least 2 stores, and I'll be home probably by 4 o'clock, maybe Monday night. But that'll include a stop at 2 stores. So I'll be working, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So that's usually how I plan. My boss is very good about letting me not be there, but still working and not needing to take off for it.
Awesome.
But yeah, I have the luxury of, even though we're driving, it's a 4.5 hour drive. I do it because I'm going to be bringing back beer and other things.
Yeah.
It's just easier to transport than flying. So it's quality time with my mom. So,
like 3-4 packs of pints that I brought back from St. Louis.
Yeah.
Check bag.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. My mom loves to drive. I would rather fly, but it's 5 hours I get to spend with her, just kind of hanging out, doing some bonding, things like that. So, plus, it's just easier to transport so much beer and stuff back by driving in a car. So that's my plans.
Nice.
I have very specific plans.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's going to be another, I say routine because it's probably like 3rd or 4th time that I've done this plan. I plan on working the 25th, but then taking off the 2 days before Thanksgiving. My company holidays are Thanksgiving and Black Friday. They give us Black Friday off. But take my child, Victoria, to Margaritaville, Biloxi, the Strip on Tuesday. Probably leave Tuesday morning, stay overnight. Last year we stayed at the Golden Nugget next door because it's way cheaper. That Margaritaville doesn't let you use the pool because it's off season, but they still charge you like $140 for a room. It's ridiculous. But the Golden Nugget last year, a room was $52.
Wow.
Just to walk across the parking lot, and we got a couple of weird looks that I'm walking through a casino with a child, basically, at the Golden Nugget, but they're fine with it. The rooms are nice. And so, everything from going to Paradise Pier to the arcades. She likes to go to Sharkhead. She wants to get another hermit crab since the freaking cannibal over there ate the other one.
Who's the cannibal?
The one that's in there right now. The other one molted. Yeah, fun fact about hermit crabs, it shed its exoskeleton, and while it was like recovering, like raw skin or whatever, the other one went in there and completely ate it alive. Like learning all kinds of things I never thought I would learn about hermit crabs. But that was this
Dangerous
trip.
pet.
That was this trip last year that she got the 2 hermit crabs for the first time. So this will be a year anniversary of us being hermit crab owners. And she wants to get another one to add to the buddy over there. But,
you get a shirt that says "I got crabs."
Yeah, seriously, it's like that's what it looks like. It's like I got worms. It's a worm farm. But anyway, also while we're in Biloxi, she wants to go to that movie theater that's on the Strip and see Moana 2 on Wednesday.
Okay.
I don't even know what that theater's called, but I know we pass it all the time. It's on the Strip in Biloxi, between Biloxi and Gulfport. And then the routine is she goes back to Mom Wednesday night. And Wednesday night, we have a Friendsgiving. It's one of Sarah's friends that lives in Gretna that does a Friendsgiving every year. We'll be going to that. And then it's always, it's usually a theme type of party. One year it's Greek, the next year it's, I don't know what they're cooking this year. But it's a pretty cool party. People I don't see too often. I see them, this is like one of the big events where I see people, like, I know them pretty well by now. But anyway, Thanksgiving Day, cousin's house all day with my cousin Tim's gumbo that I look forward to. He makes the turkey gumbo at the end of the night with the whatever we bring for lunch. And then, Thanksgiving is kind of like, that's pretty much it. Black Friday is, I think we're going to do it again as we did last year where we had our STEAM board meeting that was also coupled with kind of a hangout where like the wives and the kids show up. We don't know where it's going to be at. But last year we did it, a house that had like a trampoline and stuff like that. I wore my Jaeger sweater and brought Jaeger over there.
There you go.
A couple of couple of dads that look forward to the Jaeger, and we're the three in the corner taking Jaeger shots while the other one's scoffing.
One of them, Matt?
No, not him. No. He's
I don't want to name it.
No, he's one of them when he's there, but no, not at this probably. But then capping it off on Saturday the 30th, we'll look. I don't know if any of y'all know who Mark Norman is, a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be at the Orpheum, and I'm trying to get Sarah in for that. Not that she knows him that well, but I want to go see him at the Orpheum on Saturday night, the 30th.
No, Mark Norman's funny as shit.
But he's from here.
He's from here, yeah.
Graduate of De La Salle in like 2006, I think. But he was on Last Comic Standing. That's the first time I saw him. But he's playing.
He's real sarcastic.
Mm-hmm. Very dry humor.
Very dry humor.
I hate saying it. He's been presented on Comedy Central by Amy Schumer, but one of his things was Amy Schumer presents Mark Norman. But he's still a good
I
comedian.
don't like him now.
Save that for a later segment that's coming up. But so it's a pretty filled week. I'm just hoping that work is not going to be a pain, because I remember last year that Tuesday I'm trying to be off and leave to take my child, and I had to do some stuff Tuesday morning. We finally left around midday afternoon, but it still happened. So we'll see how this week goes.
That was extremely specific plans.
I know
that you have completely planned out. You're better than me.
That's how
I know what I'm doing Thanksgiving.
That's how these friggin' weekends go. That's how these lovely managing all this goes.
I guess I'll go next. Mine are very simple. I'm off from the music school all week, which is great. We still get paid, but we kind of follow a school schedule. We get off 2 weeks at Christmas and a week at Thanksgiving, because most of the kids are off, and so they're going to be missing lessons. So we're just why don't we just take off and make them still pay us? So it's great.
Nothing wrong with paid leave. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with non-made-up lessons, but we'll just be hanging out at the house with my parents and Dylan and Jimmy, and I think some other people are going to be coming by. I'm not sure who, but nothing big planned like Sean has a whole week of staved off plans.
I'll fill it in with.
It'll be nice. I plan on doing some stuff with some other people that I've been meaning to get together with while I'm off that week, and it'll be nice. Just a nice week off of change of pace,
I should add, and then that Sunday I'll probably be podding with you guys.
Yeah, right.
What's that? December 1st already? Yeah.
December 1st. Damn. Yeah, right. But my plans are pretty low key, just regular, usual Thanksgiving stuff on Thursday, and not going to the mall on Black Friday.
There is a game on Black Friday. I think the Chiefs play the Raiders, and during the day it's at 2:00.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's on a screen.
We have Amon-Ra, St. Brown, so we'll be watching the Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. The Lions play the Bears. I forget who Dallas plays. And then there's a night game, probably. I don't know who.
I don't know.
Well, Todd and I's plans are going to probably run pretty similar. As of right now, I know for Thanksgiving Day, my mom said she's going to cook some shrimp and melatonin. So,
woo! Yeah.
I told her we're going to invite her on the pod so we can all sample it and to develop some tough skin for the critique. So we told her to bring her big boy pants because we could have some harsh critics on here.
Hopefully not full of shit.
But
big boy pants full of shit.
So she's going to. Okay, I just got what you meant by that.
There's your pod title.
So we're gonna go there for Thanksgiving Day.
Big boy.
But I think I don't know if I've ever mentioned this one on the pod, but my mom has always said that she wants Thanksgiving since my dad's passed away, and we used to do a lot with his family on Thanksgiving. That she wanted it to be her time with the kids to take them somewhere. And last Thanksgiving we actually rented a beach house out in Orange Beach and did 2 or 3 days out there for Thanksgiving.
Which that's fun. It really is fun.
It was. Unfortunately, I got sick for the last day of the trip. But
went to Big Beach Brewing. It was lovely.
Orange Beach is I really enjoy it. I know it's touristy, but once you get there, you're it's just got tons of shit to do.
That's what I said. There's just so many things to do. If you're not on the beach, you still got Big Beach Brewing. You still have the go-karts. You still got mini golf
right?
all over the
Arcades, all kind of stuff, and the vibe of it's just get fucked up and spend money.
And, you know, like we did Lambert's, we did did the Outlet Mall.
Road rolls.
But anyway, so last
one on my list, if you remember.
Last year, my mom had made a comment about, oh, maybe next year we'll do San Antonio because I've always wanted to go to see San Antonio. I've heard it's really pretty. So I was just kind of under the impression that we were still doing that. So probably about a month and a half, two months ago, I brought it up to her and I was like, hey, are we still going to San Antonio? And she acted like I was an idiot. She's like, what are you talking about, San Antonio?
Road trip.
And I was like, Mom, you said you wanted to go to San Antonio last year. You said this was something you've always wanted to do. And since this is your time to take the kids on a vacation, I just assume we're going.
She wanted to see the basement.
Mom's
of the
just
Alamo.
reaching an old age, her memory's fading. She's shitting her pants. I mean, it's just she didn't remember the fucking San Antonio trip.
So
we have a funny anecdote about boomers because Sean sent me something that was a joke about. He was like, when my folks don't get a joke, this is like, I don't know, something like, I forgot exactly what it was, but it was basically I was showing my dad the joke, and then Sean said something like, yeah, my boomer parents totally miss jokes all the time, and my dad's like, tell Sean that I got the joke and whatever. So he was reading my phone
just
as
get
he
your
said
ass here.
I know.
We need you on a pod. Another one.
I told Russ that at the Tyson fight. Let me use air quotes with that. That like I was like, my dad can come and leave out the back door like he did like when he came to Sean's house.
I mean,
they get some Jim Beam
right behind Patrick and Sean.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, back to what you were saying. So.
One quick correction: Todd and Travis's mom is not shitting her pants. Only in Travis's dream is that happening. She's not doing it. She's not doing it in real life.
You got to go back and listen to episode 38. That's where it all takes place.
It was a fun dream.
But
okay.
Anyway,
sure. Good to know she's not shitting her pants in real life.
So needless to say, this Thanksgiving we were not going to San Antonio. So, but I ended up throwing out another suggestion to her because she had went to Hattiesburg with my sister and had comes back and tells us about this place called the Lucky Rabbit, which I don't know if y'all have ever heard of it.
The Bunny Ranch?
But it's supposed to be.
What were they doing there before?
They were supposed to be. It's supposed to be like this big kind of like almost like thrift store that they do like themes with. They like Beetlejuice 2 just came out, so they decorated the whole store in Beetlejuice theme. So they do a lot of themes with it, but it's kind of like a like thrift store kind of.
Yeah, it looks almost like
that kind of place.
What's the word I'm looking for? Not a thrift store, not a yard sale, like flea market. Big flea market, yeah.
So she said it was really cool and that Todd and I would love it. So I made that suggestion. Then okay, since we're not going to San Antonio, why don't we do Hattiesburg for a day or two? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the Lucky Rabbit. We're gonna take the kids on a tour of Southern University of Southern Miss, and we're gonna hit up Southern Prohibition Brewing. But we're gonna go the Saturday after Thanksgiving and come back on Sunday, so it's not going to be like a
the 30th and December 1st.
Yeah, so it's not going to be like a super long trip by any stretch.
You want to come see Mark Norman?
No,
it's the same day.
Honestly, I think y'all will have more fun in Hattiesburg than you would in San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio has not much to do other than the Alamo.
You're gonna go to the Alamo. There's a.
It's called the
See the basement. Yeah,
go to the basement in the Alamo.
See, I think the thing my mom is talking about, it's actually called the Riverwalk.
Yes,
and it's a thing where they got like the gondoliers and it looks nice and pretty. I think that's what she's thinking about seeing. But
the appeal of that wears off after like 15 minutes because the Riverwalk is nothing but a big mall with this waterway through it that the gondolas go down. So that part's cool. The rest, it's just a mall. Yeah. So there's nothing really to it. So you can do the Alamo and the Riverwalk in one day in less than like 7 hours, and you're done with San Antonio outside of some pretty good barbecue places. So that's fine, but outside of that, there's not anything else in San Antonio.
I was in a drum corps in San Antonio for a bit, trying out when I was in college. And my dad went, and he's like, there ain't shit to do here. He's just like drinking at the hotel bar. Like, he went to the Alamo. He's like, after that, there's nothing to do.
See, and then the funny part is like she wants to go see this Riverwalk area, but my mom also doesn't like the walk. But at the same time, It is.
I
It is.
mean, so
It
it's
is.
a river sit.
But it is kind of. It is
I mean,
kind
she
of.
did stop 5 times from the parking garage to the Brave Stadium.
It's 1.5 the times of Lakeside Mall. There's not going to be a ton. There's not a whole lot to it. I'm telling you. I've been there like 5 times. It's Lakeside Mall times 1.5, and that's it. There's just a fucking waterway through the mall part. That's all there is.
But I will say this though, as much as she griped about the walking we did when she did go to Atlanta with us that time, when we went shopping at the store at the Coke Museum, she basically had this like burst of energy, like she's all of a sudden not complaining about getting up moving because she's spending money. So so I don't know. So maybe there's
Now,
some
dollar signs. Like,
if you can talk the group into going to Six Flags in San Antonio as well, that would be worthwhile. But that's it. It's the Alamo, the Riverwalk, and then Six Flags. That's it for San Antonio. There's some pretty good food places.
dude, I've been trying to get my mom to go back to Disney, and she can't handle, like, for one, my mom doesn't like big rides, so Six Flags is out of the question. She's been wanting to go back to Disney, not for the rides, mainly for, as Travis already mentioned, she loves spending money, so mainly for the shopping.
Fair.
But it's just, there's no way my mom can handle Disney, because she's like, oh, well, I'll just rent a scooter, but
She'll be one of those
as
people.
I've kind of already explained with the scooters, I mean, you have to wait
It's
for the
already grinded
bus.
your gears once.
But the crowds are so big, depending on what time of the year you're going. The scooters, it's not like you're getting anywhere any quicker in that scooter. So I mean, the scooters are pointless.
But you do get to cut all the lines.
But they're starting, as Russell kind of explained in one of the last pods, they're kind of starting to cut down on that. So I mean,
You're in the scooter line.
but I'm just saying that is the other thing in that San Antonio does have to offer is there's Six Flags around. So
I mean, I'd be cool going to. I mean, I know Travis said the one in Atlanta was a little disappointing, but I'd be cool going there.
maybe your mom does something else or just takes a day to herself. Go find like a spa or thing that she can go do while y'all go to Six Flags. But at least there is that as well. Forgot there is Six Flags. Hattiesburg, there's a store called Lincoln Road Package. Travis, if you want to go find a new bottle of bourbon,
Big package.
you can go check there. They usually have some pretty nice bottles of bourbon, so you can find something new. That's like a honey hole spot that people go to a lot for bottles. Yes.
Okay. Oh, I might have to add that to the list.
I would, put that in your save list for you to make a stop at Lincoln Road Package Store. But yeah,
Joe Burrow has 4 fantasy points at the half.
But one thing
Where's the
before we
fucking
close out on
media?
this topic, one thing my mom did say, she kind of gave us the menu of what she's going to be cooking for Thanksgiving, and shrimp and mirtons is on there. So I told her we're going to invite
2
her
batches.
I told her we're inviting her on the pod. We're all going to give a taste test, so she needs to develop the tough skin in case anybody critiques it too harshly.
Shrimp and melon, my mom cooks that too. It's
Shrimp
I've had
and
a
what?
lot. Melon. That's what we call
Ooh, honey, have a cook off.
it. Melon. Yeah.
Melatonin and merlotons. I mean,
Well, my mom also says melatonin, so
Yeah, that's how I've
it's a
always said.
couchon or
it.
cochon.
well, she's also in her prime rib, which
Potato,
is
tomato,
which is
tomato.
kind of like not
Let's call
not
the
your
whole
traditional
thing.
turkey or ham for Thanksgiving. So my mom said prime rib. She does a really good baked macaroni. I think Travis said that's the only macaroni and cheese he actually eats is my mom's.
I love baked macaroni. I like macaroni in general. I like shitty macaroni.
She said something
Like
else.
Kraft?
I don't know if it was
like,
like
I'll eat any of it. I'm just like
Honestly, my
man.
favorite macaroni is Kraft because I grew up on it.
so I know those.
I
two
mean,
things
of like
will be
that
on the
kind. I
menu.
do
Yeah, I
like
know.
big macaroni and stuff too. Yeah.
The prime rib, the shrimp and mirliton, and the baked macaroni. I think she said something else. But I can't quite remember. what it
Probably
was.
pumpkin muffins, or pumpkin pie,
I
something
was
like
gonna
that.
say if you don't have anything to worry about. If it's really good, your mom's gonna be her harshest critic. Because the moms that cook stuff like that, they it didn't
They're
come out
gonna-
as good this time.
Well, that's how I am.
It
when
could
I
be
cook.
better.
Yeah.
You see, my mom doesn't know how to read people either. So if I say, "Oh, this is total shit," and I really think it's good, she would think it's, she's gullible as shit. So she'd think I was really telling her it sucked.
Well, and then one of the other things too on that day, week we have with the whole week off, we might try to go hit Gonzales for one day and do a brewery up in Gonzales, and maybe go to another thrift store type flea marketplace there as well.
Tanger.
Hit the outlets.
That's true, too.
Tanger
I
outlet.
could use some new work clothes.
So
Go
check
to
out-
Could
go,
use some
go to
khakis.
Use some
Go
new
to-
shoes.
go to Jay Alexander's for a meal in Gonzales.
Khakis.
So that would be our plans for the Thanksgiving break.
I'm sorry, Mike Anderson's. I'm sorry, Mike Anderson's is a restaurant.
Yeah, you said Mike Anderson seafood down here.
Not the same, but sort of, yeah.
I remember when he played for the Broncos.
The Navy guy. Right?
Mr. Anderson.
Well, before we close out this episode, just one more thing I have on the agenda, and that still it kind of revolves a little bit around like holiday type stuff, and we're getting to the start of the Mississippi Seawolves hockey season, and we have to get together and put our schedules together and figure out when's a good weekend that all of us could go attend.
Maybe we could stay at the $52 a night Gold Nugget because from what my mom is telling us, she said that she refuses to go to Beau Rivage because they're not giving her free rooms anymore, and then the prices have gone up exponentially for a night at the Beau Rivage.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because I found a really good Christmas present for Jessica centered around that. So
The night at the Beau Rivage.
Should
Well, keep in mind the Gold Nugget.
Golden Nugget.
Nugget.
Golden.
got 6 inches for?
So that is one thing I'm looking forward to as well. The idea of getting together with you guys and going to see a
Golden
hockey
Nugget has
game.
Bubblegum Shrimp Company in it. Just saying.
No, does it?
It does.
A bubble
So-
gum, huh?
Should we spoil ourselves and go to the Silver Slipper for
wow,
I'm
For,
It's a St. Louis song.
it's on the way though.
The bank.
might as well just stay at the fucking state park right out there.
No. I'm just saying we should stop
Off
either
Lodge.
on the way up,
Russell would be all for that.
on the way up there, or on the way back. We stop at the Silver Slipper for a buffet.
The Logic on
Silver
State
Slipper
Park
has
is
some-
up and coming.
some
now.
poker tables,
Up in there.
It's a casino, yes.
Silver Slipper.
Or what we could do is we could stop in Kiln along the way, hit Lazy Magnolia, then stop and hit Chandler Island and Gulfport,
And try
then fly Llama out in Biloxi, and then go to the game.
Didn't we do that last time though?
We just did fly Llama.
Okay, that's right.
Yep.
So Travis added 2 breweries, if you noticed.
So-
We went to
fucking-
Chandelier a different time.
Yeah, the 2 years ago.
Okay,
But we could do all
I like
three in the same
Chandelier.
one
that's fine.
Yeah.
and get absolutely
So
shit
when,
faced.
if y'all go where we come back on a Sunday morning, I could do it.
Okay.
Yes, because
Yeah, well, I think last year we didn't even stay. I think we drove back. Huh?
we all drove back. No,
We stayed.
something
yeah.
you stayed.
Because we went to the Paradise Pier next to Margaritaville then on Sunday.
Yeah, everybody else I think drove back.
Yeah, I think we ended up driving back last
I
year.
don't want to drive back after 3 breweries in a
Two
game.
2 years ago, we stayed at the Holiday Inn with Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Doing 3?
Yeah, we're gonna do all 3. We're gonna do Kiln, we're gonna do Chandelier, then we're gonna do Fly Llama. And by the time we get to the game, we're not even gonna know what's going on.
I drove through Kiln 2 weeks ago.
Make
going
the-
to
And they sell
Purpose in Mississippi.
the big tall boys at the game now, so we can continue with the tall boys.
We just need to make sure that we eat somewhere at one of the breweries, so we don't have to go find a restaurant ahead of time like we did last year where the fucking wait took forever.
Oh, yeah,
Fat
yeah.
Bottoms and Lucy's.
Yeah.
Like an hour and a half wait.
Well, that was 2 years ago because last year we just decided to eat at Fly Llama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
we
it
ate in the
ended up being
game.
more
I think
convenient.
we bought a bunch of stuff
Oh,
in the game.
Buffalo beat KC today. I know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's get our schedules together and go catch some good cheap hockey.
Well,
Oh.
Martin Luther King weekend, y'all are going to the concert on the 19th, right?
Yeah.
Because then, of course, the 18th, the Saturday, is
I'd be
the
suspect.
infamous
Are you coming?
North Bridgedale Beer Tour.
Okay.
Y'all can actually attend this. You do not have to be a STEAM member. But we start at the school. And there's 5 stops in the neighborhood that we walk to and spend an hour at each one. And I'm co-hosting one of them, meaning I get to bring beer. I have to pick a beer and bring to it or whatever. But yeah, we do 5 stops around the neighborhood and then end at an after party. It's one of the houses on Transcontinental. And yeah, it's just basically walk around the neighborhood, sampling brews, drinking like idiots, and yeah.
It's a fun group of guys. I got to hang out with the Steam guys the other night.
But that's last year we went to, like, when they say beer tour, last year we actually got on a bus and went to Urban South in Port Orleans. And in the past, they even used to they went to Lazy Magnolia before, that was before my time. But we've done 2 neighborhood beer tours, as we call it, or beer crawls, and everybody liked that better. We're bringing it back. So January 18th, yeah, it's going to be an all day, like,
Saturday?
it's a Saturday, and
Nice.
the house that's hosting the after party is actually the dude that makes the red drink. So it's gonna be An interesting Saturday. Let's put it that way.
That's all Saturday. We're gonna drink all fucking day.
But it's weird. It's the third. It's always the third. It's been the third Saturday in January. But for some reason, MLK weekend is that weekend. I don't like. I looked last year. MLK was the week before because we did the Seawolves the weekend before that, and then this beer tour was the weekend after that. So I don't know why, but
we'll figure it out.
But yeah, if there's something like because then Comic-Con is a week late too. Comic-Con's the 10th, 11th, and 12th, the weekend before that. I don't know why it's not the weekend of the 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. Or actually, the 6th is a Monday. That's 12th night. Yeah, 12th night is our Zeus thing too, which is they refuse to move it. They always have to have it on the 6th. Like last year, it fell on a Saturday, and it was a huge thing because it was on a Saturday. But this year, it's like, okay, you really want us to go like we get on a bus and go do a bar crawl on a Monday night? That's going to be messed up.
That's ridiculous.
That's one. I guess that's one way to avoid any kind of calendar confusion. It's good. It's going to be on the 6th.
It's the 6th, regardless of what day it is.
Yep, 12th night. We'll put on the Mardi Gras costumes like I got hanging over there and go,
There you go.
Yeah.
On Monday.
And it's a surprise. When you show up, we start at Gennaro's and get on the bus, and then they bring us to 3 stops, 4 stops, and it's like,
Anything that starts at Gennaro's, it's not like no.
Yeah, last year it got
I go to Gennaro's.
The winning pot for 50-50, meaning that means like the club makes 50% of the pot and the winner gets 50%, was like in the $300 or $400 range. I mean, that's how many people put in for 50-50. It's insane.
Yeah, that's
like at a Steam meeting, a good 50-50 is like $75 to $100. And yeah, this was hundreds. Anyway. By the way, compliments to Biff on pulling out the Gentilly gin out of my fridge and mixing it with Diet Mountain Dew.
it's delicious.
We're riding
and
high.
Intoxicating.
I know, we're riding high on that right now.
Had a long week. All right, anything else? Or
No, that's it on the main
that's
one.
it on the main? Todd's moving my Cheetos over here. Let's see what's going on.
Almost gone. Would you like to sample that? Sweet.
All right.
Nope, no thank you.
No? Okay.
All right, so y'all get your
I'm not a gin guy.
get your hockey gear and hockey jerseys ready for the Mississippi Sioux Wolves game.
Well, I was going to say, we don't even know what their schedule looks like to even say they have a game on MLK weekend or whatever.
But we'll pick a good one that works for everybody
Sometime in January.
and make a fun trip out of it.
Yeah.
And on that Playing for the Future bombshell, wagons out.
Wagons out.
Premier League.